So, going live. Oh, I accidentally tapped the going live. So we're live now, by the way. So if that stool is the squeaky boy, then we're going to have to rearrange stools. Let's see how we do.
Hi.
Let's see how that does. If the squeaky camera, that one. If the squeaky stool is super bad, let us know and we'll just change it out.
We have more stools off shot.
The problem is they all squeak as well.
There's also a wheelie chair and a bin. Something can be arranged.
My kingdom for a stool that won't just start squeaking after 6 months of use, and that doesn't cost £1 million as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome. Good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome to the show. We're only a couple of minutes late, but would you expect anything less from us these days?
Precisely. And before we get too far into anything, let's do the thing we meant to do last week, about telling people about the fact of liking and commenting, interacting with the content they want to see on YouTube in general, on this channel specifically, because then it will train YouTube to show them the content they want.
If you don't like the live streams, don't tell us on this video. Go to another video and comment on that one.
Specifically a repair one, the
Yes.
kind of video that you want to see, because then it trains YouTube that that's the content you interact with, that's the content you want to see, so it will show you that more by default.
Yes, there's too many people that comment on the live stream. Well, there's not that many, to be honest, but for a while there was lots of people that would comment on the live streams going, oh, you only ever do the live shows. And it's like, by commenting on that video, you've basically said to YouTube, I want to see more live shows.
Yes.
That's the problem. So...
Which wasn't what you wanted.
Indeed.
So go comment, like, etc. The content you actually want.
All of that stuff.
Exactly.
But yes. Anyway, hello everyone. Yeah, M1MO Gaming, TPM 2.0. Well, therein lies one of the things that I want to talk about today anyway. So first, hello everyone that I can see in chat. Noldals, Dennis, hello Bad Egg, Yate Computing, Michael Casper as well. I also saw right at the top, Nick Smith, welcome to Tier 1. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Much appreciated. What about 24-hour live stream? No.
Just no.
Right. What does TPM stand?
I feel like one of us would end up throttling the other one or something.
Probably.
Certainly after 20 hours awake.
Yeah.
On camera.
Hell, I start melting after 4. Well, the longest streams I do are my game streams, Thursday and Sunday nights on Twitch. And generally speaking, when I get to 4 hours, I'm fried. I have to be really enjoying the game to be still fresh at the 4-hour marker. So yes. Yeah, trusted platform module, that's it. But yes. Anyway, let's talk about, let's do the headline topic first, because I want to talk about things, because I want to make predictions. And stuff like that. So Windows 11, it was last week that I said I didn't care about Windows 11, wasn't it?
Basically.
Yeah.
Also, I want to not have that between me and you.
Yes, that doesn't need to be there at the moment. Anyway, last week I said I didn't care about Windows 11. That's now covering the chat for me. How about that?
It's not like we spent 45 minutes setting stuff up and arranging and moving stuff to then go, oh great, none of it works.
We're fiddling with camera setup still. Last week we had the Panasonic camera on for the first time. We got it on this week as well. We spent a load of time setting it up, and then I basically said to Caradog, I don't like this shot. No. I don't. So we've moved it in a bit closer. I'm still a little bit unconvinced, mainly because one of the problems with this shot, which is very much a streamer issue, is most of the time my eyes are looking at the preview and the chat.
Yeah.
And the problem is that most of the time when you're using a webcam, the camera lens is just above the preview and the chat, so the audience can't see that you're not looking them in the eye. Whereas with this, the camera lens is all the way up there, and it's actually quite a bit away from us. So right now I'm having a lot of I'm feeling like I'm not looking at the audience and I'm looking over here. So already I'm like, I'm not 100% convinced about
No,
this, but
absolutely.
yeah, like, are you getting the same feel?
I have less of a concern of that because obviously I do almost all of my stuff with my camera there whilst looking at a screen there anyway.
That's true,
So
yeah.
it's less of a thing to me.
Yeah,
And yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
yeah,
But I can kind of see where it's coming from. Um, Also, just kind of a case of I don't know how we'd do it any differently with this specific setup.
yes,
We'd need to change a lot of how this operates for it to fit.
yeah. Or failing that, it might work out better on the next one. So, firstly, Chris Kingan, thank you very much for the $10. Hello from across the pond, Graham and Caradog. Hello, hello. The next week, the setup we're going to do is we're going to go for actually what was the original plan for this room, which is to have the camera over there pointing in at the desk. Because right now, usually when I'm doing a repair video, I would actually be sitting here. I would be like this for a repair video. And right now, what we've done is we've got the monitors turned around so the camera's looking down the bench, and then we're sitting back here. Now, this is fine. I like this bench setup because Caradog and I have got the bench between us, so we've got nice spacing and we can both look at the same thing without being buddy-buddy, shoulder to shoulder, which, aside from social distancing, is just not very comfortable. Whereas being on two sides of the bench looking at the same thing is really nice.
Also introduces the lean.
Yes. But yeah, so I like this. However, the problem is that we've got to completely rearrange the bench every week when we do the podcast, which I don't like doing.
No, absolutely, it's
because my
hassle.
my setup, the reason why I use OBS, the reason why I use webcams, is all engineered to be open OBS, hit start recording.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you have to start setting up for something, I'm like, that's too much trouble. I don't want to do that every time.
Yeah.
So yeah. But at any rate, so next week we're going to try and have the camera over there because that means that we can both be sitting on the same side of the bench. Not as nice, but it means we don't have to change the bench setup. So yeah, at any rate, the point is we're still experimenting with the camera layouts and things like that. So if you're looking at any of this going, oh, this camera angle's a bit weird, yeah, we're experimenting. We're figuring it out, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And just kind of a case of working out what works for whatever format we're actually trying to produce, but also a case of what works in the space that is this room.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a case of working out the space as in the room, the studio, and working out what you're trying to do in the space and make cameras work
Yeah.
in here. So yeah.
Why is that hole in the wall next to Caradog?
Because it's a doorway.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm just going to point this out just to settle you. This is a doorway over here. This goes through to the back.
There is no door though.
There's just no door. There is also genuinely a hole in the wall here, which you guys might be able to make out.
Oh, just
at some point a cable came through. Or failing that, there's a patch on the wall here where it's not been painted because something was there where they were painting. There is no spoon, so there's something there.
Yes.
Right.
That is your assortment of holes for this week's Two Guys Talk Tech, the YouTube stats, the web show.
So whichever hole you had your eyes set on, those are the holes explained.
Yes.
So right, okay, that's all technical setup aside. Let's talk about Windows 11. Last week I said I didn't care about Windows 11. I still haven't bothered downloading it because obviously there's still no official. I'm kind of annoyed that it was all a bit of a nothing burger, really, wasn't it? Because they talked about philosophy and stuff like that, but they didn't give us. There was no public beta. There was no release date. There was no saying there was going to be a beta. There was nothing tangible. There was nothing useful.
I haven't watched it or read any content coming from it.
I haven't watched it, but I will admit I didn't watch it either. But based on everything I've seen and all the summaries I've read, basically we're none the wiser. It probably would have been more profound had the leaked build and the screenshots not been leaked, because this
Yeah.
would have been our first eyes on it, and then we would have been like, wow, the new style. But because
Yeah,
we'd
absolutely.
already seen the new style, they basically had nothing else to talk about. It was a bit of a iPhone 4 leak moment where Apple had to say, stop us if you've seen this before, because of the infamous iPhone 4 leak. But yeah, so TLDR, because there's no public beta or anything like that, we're kind of no further than we were before. However, because it has been confirmed that is actually what it's going to look like, I want to say I like the way it looks. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced about the centralized taskbar yet, but that's customizable anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The actual theming, though, the frosted glass, I'm super into it, because I don't like flat design. I don't like Microsoft's flat design. Windows 10, I don't like the Windows 10 flat design, just because it just looks incredibly unfinished to me. When it came out, it looked fantastic, but I was like, this looks great, because I was expecting them to finish it. And then we kind of got 5 years deep into Windows 10, and it was still just complete. It wasn't just flat design; it was a lack of design. It's kind of like for me. Windows 10 is kind of like black text on a white page, and calling that minimalist design. I'm like, no, that's just no design. That's just text on white. I guess that's how I feel about Windows 10. Now, it's not that bad. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's where I'm coming from here. And so with the swing back to the whole frosted glass thing, which is very Vista-esque, I'm like, I like that. I think it looks nice.
I haven't looked at anything at all other than some small screenshots on a phone and gone, okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting because it's hitting the Windows Insider dev channel next week.
Okay.
I'm just going to run it.
Yeah.
And that will be my first impression, will be actually using it on hardware.
The new settings app, I think, looks great. The new settings app looks like everything I wanted from Windows 10 settings, because they've actually, you know, the categories you get when you open settings, those have now been arranged into a list on the left, and you click on your category, and then you get the options for that category kind of thing. And they've all got nice icons on and stuff like that. And it actually looks like it's been designed, and I really like the look of that.
So what, they've just taken away the splash screen at the beginning, effectively?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't specifically use the settings app from starting at settings and going in. I just go into a setting a lot of the time, because I'll be like clicking on an option and going, show me the setting. So it just jumps me into like personalize or sound settings or something like that. So I don't specifically drill through it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't particularly know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like the look of it, but also I feel like at this, I want to say from a customer perspective, I feel like it will lead people into what they're looking for a bit more, because, but then on the flip side, the problem, I want to say it should be more accessible to average users. But then on the flip side, average users are not even trying, so it doesn't matter how accessible you make it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a case that either way, it still requires reading and comprehension.
Yeah.
So that's a case of you aren't going to be able to make it sufficiently easy and user-friendly for that, when it still requires comprehension and a desire to actually
this is true.
Look at something.
Yeah.
So I feel like for the average user, obviously it's a case of most of the time there will be an error message that says you need to restart, and they'll go, I don't know how to fix this problem.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a case of it tells you in the error message. So
yeah. And that sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times every day I have people come into my shop and say, I've got this new phone and I don't know how to set it up. And like, it's an iPhone. And like, I'm just like, well, what's it saying? And they go sort of, well, and you open it up and it's on the first run, you know, the welcome screen.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, it's saying the license agreement. So, you know, you click on it, I accept, and they're just like, okay. And it says sort of, you know, do you want to turn on location? So you can use GPS and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so it's asking if you want to use location. They're like, oh yeah, I want that. And I was like, okay, yes. And you go through it all and you're just like, you didn't even read this, did you? You didn't look. You didn't even try.
Yeah.
You just went, I don't know how to use a phone.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and then they say, oh, how much do I owe for that? And I'm like, nothing. Because I just read what was on the screen. I'm not going to charge for that. Ooh, I'm going to get onto a customer rant. I'm not going to do this. But yeah, so I don't know. But either way, I feel like the new settings does look a lot more helpful. A couple of people saying sort of, oh, you know, they're trying to be macOS. It does look very Mac-esque. I'll give you that. And I don't know how I feel about that, because in a way I'm just like,
I don't know what that means. Personally, I don't actually know what that means. Because to me, it doesn't look anything like macOS, because I can maximize windows and I can minimize them in one go. And I have snapping and tiling and a taskbar that functions.
Yeah. I think...
And I have 3D acceleration. It doesn't have to be blessed by Microsoft to work.
I'll tell you what I think that means. Number one, at face value, it's a case of, you're absolutely right, not really. Windows is nothing like macOS. Just the way you use it, they're night and day different. Which is not to say if you know one, you don't know the other, but the theory of it, because like macOS for a start runs the menu bar at the top, which is it's different. But on the flip side, the way that it is similar is that they have definitely gone into a more colourful, more how do you describe macOS, man? I don't want to say Fisher Price, because Fisher Price would be a derogatory thing. When you say something looks Fisher Price, you're saying it looks childish, and that's not it. But it definitely looks more friendly, more colourful, more designed. Whereas again, Windows 10 is a hyper minimalistic design.
See, I'm on the flip side, and I'm still like, there are too many colours in Windows 10. I don't like it. I still don't like it, because I'm still like, there's too much stuff and noise.
Yeah. See,
if that makes sense. I feel like not necessarily there needs to be less stuff. There needs to be far less noise. I still feel like there's way too much noise in an awful lot of the options and settings and configurations. And
I agree with that.
I think is possibly a slightly different argument.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a bit too much noise and happeningness, and I'm just like, there's too much.
Yeah. See, I don't fully agree with. Again, I think you're right where you're kind of arguing a different point there, but I see what you mean. I mean, if we just switch to desktop capture for a sec, just so we're looking at the Windows 10. Hang on a minute. How can I set this up? Let's minimize this. So we've got Windows 10 settings here. Let me just bring this into view a bit more. So,
oh, I've been cut in half.
Oh,
Hi.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. All right, hold on. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Now we just can't see what we were looking at.
I have been embiggened.
Yeah, oh, whatever. Windows settings over here. So, like, if we give an example, if we go over to personalization, so we've got personalization here, and I'm going to have to move this. This is terrible. There we go. That'll do. By noise, one of the things that I agree is all of this, basically, this is all clutter. This is all clutter. Like, we've got help from the web, how to change my desktop background, how to find new themes, how to get new wallpapers every day from Microsoft. Just like, this is all junk. None of that needs to be
I would contend that where it says get new wallpapers from every day from Microsoft, if you were to...
That should just be an option,
If you click on background where it says slideshow, just click on that drop down, and then instead of it having the options that it's got, it just says new wallpaper every day.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's right.
Or like Microsoft curated wallpapers.
And the problem is, this sort of stuff is everywhere in Windows 10 settings, these related settings. So high contrast settings. Just like,
why isn't the high contrast setting just
there? Yeah, that's exactly my point. This is what I say when I say that Microsoft never finished settings.
Yeah.
Because when this was all in the beta, I was like, oh, this looks promising. I love the new settings app. It's so great that they're actually overhauling the control panel. But then the problem is it just, as I say, the years went by and I was just like, you're going to finish this, right, Microsoft? It was like the heckin' Anakin and Padme meme, where Microsoft were just like, here's the new settings, and Padme is just like, awesome. That's going to look great when you're going to finish it. And you're going to finish it, right? You know, so they never finished it. I mean, at least we got some icons on the left here.
Yeah.
But like, and that's fairly recent. For years, there were no icons here. It was just flat text.
That was 1909,
yeah,
I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is relatively recent. And so before then, there was no icons there, and that just made it very, very sterile and, again, inaccessible, in my opinion. And again, you know, just like, again, for ages, I don't think there were even icons here either. So, you know, this is what I'm talking about. And the new Windows 11 settings... are completely different from that in that it's actually set up and laid out properly, which I think is a big welcome return to form. I think that gives us something that's much closer to what the Windows 7 control panel was, which is, for better or for worse, what people want.
I feel, in a way, also, Microsoft is now allowed to make it like that because they've migrated everyone to 10. And kind of, you have to make these microscopic steps to get people to upgrade and change and so on, even when it's free.
Yeah.
And they kind of have to do these microscopic steps, and they couldn't do it in build updates because people would just kind of go, oh no, my Windows has changed. Well, did you do something? No, I didn't do anything.
Well,
you didn't do a big build update. No, definitely didn't do a Windows update that took 30 minutes. Oh, actually, maybe I did.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know.
So it's kind of a case of they can and they can't.
Yeah, I was going to say, you say that, but now the upgrade to Windows 11 is going to look completely different.
But it's also going to be called something different.
That's true.
And I think it's a point of, to a degree, Microsoft shot themselves in the foot by kind of saying that they weren't going to do that. And they should have just kind of gone Windows 10 and then called it. And then when the first build update came out, they should have just called it something like Windows 15.11 or something like that. And just forcibly named the OS something different each time. So they could have wide sweeping changes and people would at least be remotely aware. Or not necessarily.
That's the funny thing. People say sort of, oh, they're trying to be like macOS. It's just like, that's not a bad thing because Apple has that exact freedom because their operating systems are literally called macOS, 10.x. And they've gone from 10.1 all the way up to 10.16 or 10.17. Although I think I think the latest version of macOS is actually leaving that naming convention behind. Yeah. But certainly for the past 10 years, that's what they've been doing, which has given them the exact freedom that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's given them the freedom to make media, they're doing small changes at a time so they don't culture shock people, but they are able to make notable changes because it's got a new version number and a new code name. They went through all the big cats, then Sierra, High Sierra, Mojave, Mavericks, Mojave, whatever. I've forgotten them now because I don't care about Macs anymore.
Mojave.
Mojave. I had this one customer once who, every time they came in, they said, I got Mojave, and I'm like, it's Mojave, it's a desert. And every time they came in, they said Mojave again, and I'm like, Mojave.
Mojang?
Yeah, and I had to tell them every time. They were like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, I've told you 5 times.
It's a friggin' desert.
I was going to say, this isn't me being a dick about it. It's an actual place. It's a desert. It's a geographical location. This isn't a tomato thing. There is a right way to say it and a wrong way to say it, and you're saying it wrong. But whatever. Mojito. macOS Mojito. That would have been a better one. That would have been what Google would have done. Anyway. But yeah. Anyway. At any rate, that's the funny thing. But okay, anyway. Enough of the looks and the philosophy of it, though. But that's what they've announced with the philosophies. There's bits of it that I like and the bits of it that I'm like, But the bit that I do want to talk about now, are you... Has your leg gone to sleep from trying not to move?
My leg just randomly went, no, I'm very unhappy with this situation. Yeah. I was like, okay. Continue. I will just boom from the side.
Get the wheelie chair and I'll lower mine with
Just
you.
get the wheelie chair and sit like this.
Yeah, we can both do a laid back stream. We can both be just back here. All right, Caradog has limped away to go and get the other wheelie chair. The wheelie chair is a bit more comfortable, but the gas strut in it is gone, so it's about 2 inches off the ground. I don't have good chairs in here because I perch. I'm a percher. Like, just so everyone knows, the reason why I don't care about chairs is because I'm on a stool at the moment, and 9 times out of 10, when I'm sitting on a stool, let me come a bit back so you can see. I will quite happily just sit like this, or I'll be like, I'll be doing this. I'm one of those. I sit on desks like this. You know, I'm a percher. That's what I do, so I don't care. I'm Caradog. So, yeah. All right. Caradog lives down there now. He's probably a bit too close to the mic, though. You might have to back up a bit. All right. Get some beanbags. That's a wicked idea. But no. That would be cool. Where were we? Right. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about philosophy and stuff. So I want to talk about my predictions now and the bit that everyone's banging on about. TPS. No, TPM. Yes, TPM. TPM.
PMS?
No, that's something else. TPM. So obviously the minimum requirements came out and it said TPM 2.0 and everyone lost their minds. Then it turned out to be a soft floor and actually it was TPM 1.2.
Yeah.
And it was TPM 1.2. And then people got slightly more relaxed because there is software TPM built into Ryzen, all of the Ryzens, and Intel 8th gen onwards.
I think it's anything with Intel Trusted Platform Module 2.0 and newer. Which I think equates to 8th gen and newer.
Yes.
But
gen,
it's possibly a case that I haven't looked, but it's possibly a case of like the Intel Pro series might have had Trusted Platform Module 2 earlier than 8th gen.
There might be some Skylakes.
But there might be a couple of outlayers out there.
Yeah. So the point is, so then everyone lost their minds because, firstly, apparently the Ryzen 1st gen, although it has FTPM, is a bit sort of and so everyone's losing their mind over TPM. However, here's my prediction, is that TPM is going to be OEM only. And here's my rationale. Here's what I think. I think it's going to be OEM only. So if you're an OEM or a system integrator, your systems have to have TPM to meet the minimum requirements for Windows 11.
Yeah.
Now, and people are going, you're wrong because there is a minimum requirement. There's a will my Microsoft run Windows 11? There's a will my PC run Windows 11 tool out there from Microsoft. But those have historically been terrible, haven't they?
Yeah, which is the point that I've been banging on it. Yeah. Literally everyone is. They've never worked, ever.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I could probably pull up the Windows 8 one, run it on any computer that's here, that's running Windows 10, and it would go, this is not compatible. Why? Reasons.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has never cared. They just need to make sure that anything it says yes to will absolutely 100% run.
Yeah.
That's all that it needs to do, because it needs to work in the enterprise space where someone says, oh, Microsoft, you said this tool would work with this computer and we bought 50,000 of them and it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the only situation they care about.
Yeah. So yeah, the Microsoft minimum spec tool thing, I think that's hogwash. And I think the reason why they're giving these TPM minimum requirements is, so again, in that keynote, Microsoft talked a lot about philosophy and the philosophy of their design and what Windows 11 is going to be about. They are going to want BitLocker as standard, turned on by default.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely
what they want. And for the best BitLocker experience, you want TPM. It's not critical, but that's what you want for the best experience, because then you have keyless full disk encryption, which means they can bang the security and privacy drum, which is what they want to do.
Yeah.
Now, my prediction is that you will be able to say, I don't want to use BitLocker, and that TPM requirement disappears. Doesn't need to be TPM 2.0, doesn't need to be 1.2.
Yeah.
If you're not running BitLocker, you don't need TPM. And I think BitLocker is going to be optional. But Microsoft don't want to say that. Microsoft want to talk about what they want people to be running, and they want you to be running Bitlocker logged into a Microsoft account with a TPM 2.0 chip. That's what they want. But that's the thing. Getting to, with having TPM on everything from the top down for everyone who's going to run Windows 11, for a lot of enterprise and business spaces, that's a freaking tall order, I think.
I don't know. Oh, yes, it is, because computers have been historically misconfigured.
Yeah.
However, from a hardware functionality point of view, no, not massively.
I mean, it's not difficult to achieve, but it's a case.
Because the vast majority of laptops have had standalone TPM 2.0 modules in them.
Yeah, laptops certainly.
Ages. And an awful lot of enterprises using laptops.
Yeah.
Certainly with the result of last year.
There's certainly going to be a lot of workstations and and stuff like that out in the business space. And this is the thing, is they can say that they want this on OEM moving forward with no trouble at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's the same as with the UEFI standard. A lot of people, when they heard that it needed to be UEFI, it's just like, yeah, who cares? That's basically anything 2012 onwards, or 2013 onwards, 2012, 2013, something like that for UEFI. And it's just like, yeah, so you're talking anything made within the last decade.
Yeah.
And if it's more than a decade old, then, I don't want to be that guy that says who cares about it if it's more than a decade old. But at the very least, when it's more than a decade old, it's unreasonable to expect someone to support it.
Yeah.
So in which case, you carry on running Windows 10.
Yeah.
So the UEFI thing...
Windows 10 is still, at minimum, getting security upgrades until 2025, which means at that point it'll be 15 years old.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't have UEFI will be 15 years old.
Yeah, that's
right. So it's a case of, personally, I don't expect Microsoft to support, as in guarantee will work, stuff that's more than 2 or 3 years old from the release of the OS.
Yeah.
Saying we're not going to stop you from using it on older stuff is a massively different thing to we officially provide support and guarantees of fixes.
That's right.
That's what we're talking about. Them supporting it is them saying we guarantee we'll fix bugs with this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And on top of that as well, that 2025 date for Windows 10, I still haven't had anyone give me a straight answer to this, but I've asked a couple of people, what level of support does that mean? Because
end of support. As in nothing, dead in the ground.
That is red support.
As in it is XP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, yeah.
But that's also the date that Microsoft gave us in 2015 when they launched Windows 10. It's exactly the same date.
Because I was going to say, Microsoft traditionally have had the group have had green, yellow, and red support, and there's traditionally been, so green support is feature updates. Yellow, so we're actually working on and actively trying to make the system better. Yellow support is we'll fix known bugs in the system. So we're not adding any features, but if there's a problem or a known bug, we'll fix that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then red support is we don't fix any bugs. If you find a bug, tough luck. But if we find a 0-day security exploit, we will fix that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then once red support is over, that's it. You're now a virus magnet.
Yeah.
So I was wondering which level that was. But if that's red support, okay, that kind of surprises me that that's red support. Even though they said it would be. However,
I mean, that's what they've said for 5 years.
I'm going to bet.
6 years, sorry, because that's 2015.
Yeah, I'm going to bet $0 that date will get pushed back.
I don't think it will for anything that we have now. I think possibly if it does, there'll be a new build of Windows 10 in 2025 that pushes it back. If that makes sense. I don't think nothing that is out today will be supported in 2025. I don't think.
Agreed.
I think then if it does get pushed back, there'll be a new build in 2025. It is a new, effectively LTS build.
Yeah.
Something like that. A specific build like that.
Yeah.
And it's intentionally hobbled.
Because Microsoft are actually fairly aggressive with dropping support for old builds of Windows 10. Because 1903 is out of support, isn't it? I think 1903 is out of support. I think if you're running 1903, you get nag messages saying there are no security updates. You need to update Windows, etc., etc.
Yes, but 1809 is still supported. Because the build support window depends on which build it was kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not a hard and fast X number of months or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what the build was released as kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think it's 1809 is still supported because it's the Enterprise stable ring update. Because there is a specific update ring you can select on Windows Server to push to the machines.
Yeah.
That is like the
hyper stable.
The very slow branch kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is the cut. I think that build has just been replaced by 21H1, I think. Or it might have been 2004. I can't remember. It was one of those just replaced the previous stable one. So now that old one will now get dropped off because it'll be a case of there are now 2 current supported ones and things like that. So yeah, it very much depends.
Yeah.
On where it kind of falls and whether it's an LTS build or not.
Yeah.
Effectively.
That's fair enough. At any rate, though, the fact that they are actually dropping support for old builds, which, I mean, I guess we're talking about like 1819, which is 2018, 2019, that kind of area. So, but, you know, so obviously that was quite a few years, those are quite a couple of years old now, but then they're only, 2 or 3 years old, which is not a huge amount of time in the grand scheme of things.
No.
So Microsoft are being fairly aggressive with chopping off old builds. So that does imply that the 2025 hard deadline is entirely believable. That they're actually serious about it. They're like, no, it will end support in 25. There won't be extensions. We're setting that date now. You got 5 years. Do not say we didn't warn you.
Yeah.
We've been through this before with the previous systems.
Yeah.
We've done it all before. This time, the year is 25. We will end support. So that seems reasonable.
Yes.
But yeah. However,
this time, no. Here we must draw the line. This time, no further.
Every time we fall back.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Imaginary points, internet points for those who understand the butchered reference.
Yeah. But yeah, Jose, if I'm pronouncing that right, or Josie, sorry if I've got that wrong, 7700K isn't supported. That's the thing. I think it will be.
It is not supported. It may run on it, but it is not supported. This is an important point of accuracy in language.
Yeah,
supported means Microsoft will fix bugs with it.
Yeah, if you have a problem, they'll help you.
Run on it is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Windows will run on a thermostat. It doesn't mean Microsoft supports it.
That's true. It's a question of if you're having problems and you get on the phone to Microsoft and say, I have purchased a license of Windows 11 and I'm having difficulty making it work. If you have a supported system, then Microsoft is obligated to help you solve your problem.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not on a supported system, they're not obligated to help you solve your problem.
Yeah.
So yes, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
However, I absolutely believe that Windows 11, with little to no hassle, I believe Windows 11 will run on that 7700K. I find it very hard to believe that you're going to have to jump through hoops to make it work on a Skylake.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So it's a case of, just like you can't install Windows 10 on the very first FX boards by default, but you can manually load the SATA controller driver and it starts working.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's what I'm imagining it will be. A case of it's not supported, but you can make it work.
Yeah.
So it's a case of that's the kettle of fish.
The interesting thing is, though, we're seeing the cost of TPM modules go sky high in some places where...
Yeah, of course, but that's what happens on eBay when a product starts increasing in sale volume.
Oh,
that's how eBay sale bots work. I'm amazed by people being surprised by this.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not
not you.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that the populace is surprised by this.
Yeah.
When sale volume increases on an item on eBay, its price goes up. That's how eBay bots work.
Absolutely.
And that's how they've worked for 10 years.
I think the point is what this shows, though, is that everyone is panic buying TPM modules, believing that if they don't have a TPM module, they're not going to be able to run Windows 11. And let me put it this way.
Might be true. We have had no confirmation one way or the other.
But again, to clarify, this is my prediction.
Yeah.
And this is my prediction based on gut feeling, etc., etc. However, let me put it this way: it was on Wednesday or Thursday night when this came out, when this was announced. I quickly bought a TPM module on Amazon to get one on order, thinking, I'm going to make a video about TPM modules.
Yeah.
I've cancelled that order because it wasn't going to be dispatched for like another 2 weeks or something like that. And B,
Yes.
I'm looking at this and immediately going, this is a nothing burger.
Maybe.
And
See, I think you
I'm
should have got it because I think you would have got a lot of views out of it. Because there would be a lot of people who are paying zero attention to what they're actually being told.
yeah, I don't know.
I also get the feeling there are an awful lot of people looking for things to complain about with this,
Yeah.
which is the same every time there's a Microsoft announcement.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. It's like, yeah, I get views on it, but I don't want to rush out and make a video about TPM and then it be a big nothing burger. Like, I want to basically.
Well, yeah, but
what I'm saying is, I want to sit back and say, I told you so, when no one needs TPM.
Sure, but making a generic video going, this is TPM, this is a TPM module, this is how you can add it to your motherboard, this is how you can turn it on. You don't have to talk about Windows 11.
Yeah, this is true.
That's more what I meant.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
as an educational piece on what is TPM and why the hell is it suddenly something people are talking about.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? That's relevant now because there's loads of people in chat going, what is TPM? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
So TPM is Trusted Platform Module. So here's the thing. If you want to do full disk encryption, when you're doing encryption, there is, I do cut in if I say something incorrect here because you know more about cybersecurity than I do. And if Teltac is around, which I haven't seen him, but if Teltac is around, he actually is educated in cybersecurity. He did forensic he did security forensics or whatever.
He did something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so basically, if you want to do encryption, you encrypt your data, you scramble your data, and then see, Caradog has just handed me the Wikipedia page. But
Yes.
I'm going to try and explain it myself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, but it was just a case of just so you don't wander off.
Okay, yeah. So you encrypt your data and you have to have a key, which is the key to unlock that data. So obviously you have a key to your key. So who do you trust to store that key? Now, or who do you trust with the recovery key to access it should the password be lost? Now, if you're doing like BitLocker, one way of doing it is you can back up those keys into your Microsoft account. However, a TPM module is a separate small bit of hardware that's got a controller chip on it that is plugged into the computer that is responsible for storing those keys in a secure manner. And this means that if your computer has that specific TPM module connected to it, like not that model, that exact one, then that computer is trusted to open and unlock the encrypted drive. When the encrypted drive launches, it says, who has the key to unlock me? If the TPM module is there, the TPM module goes, I'm here, here's the key.
Yeah.
So you have keyless encryption. And if that module is fiddled with, or if the drive is taken out of that computer and connected to a different system, when it boots up, it's going to say, my TPM module isn't here, no one has the key, we're locked up. So that's what the TPM module is doing in a very, very 30,000 foot overview.
Yeah. It is a place for storing the key for encryption. It doesn't do the encryption. It doesn't process encryption. All it does is key exchange.
Yeah.
It stores the key effectively and exchanges it with the thing that wants the key and to know about the key. So it does that. And there've been 3 revisions of it, I think.
That sounds
there's
appropriate.
been a 1.0, a 1.2, and a 2.
Yeah.
And basically it's a case of it doesn't particularly matter which version you've got right now, because it will function almost identically. However, it's a case that obviously going forward, Microsoft is saying that they would like stuff to support TPM2.
Yeah.
And only TPM2.
Which makes sense because that's the current version.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are with that. And it's a case that the vast majority of laptops have had TPM built actually into the motherboard, as far as I'm aware, and had a specific TPM chip on the board, as opposed to having a header for it.
Yeah.
And
however, for desktop motherboards, for some reason or other, most consumer desktop motherboards don't have it. However, most boards, if I cut over to this board here that I've got, you've got a little header on the motherboard here that's called JTPM1. This header, this is where you plug in your TPM module. I'm making sure I'm looking at the right camera. Oh, we haven't got any live cameras now anyway. But you'd have a small module, small circuit board about that big, that plugs directly into the board, and that provides a TPM module to the board. So when you go to eBay or Amazon and you search TPM module, you'll see a small circuit board with a header that will plug into that point on your motherboard. And so that is what everyone is talking about. That's what everyone wants on their custom built desktops.
Absolutely.
So that's the TPM module that everyone is scalping at the moment. Or what? Sorry, not scalping. That's not what's happening here. That's the TPM module for which demand and price is suddenly skyrocketing on.
Yeah, because no one's cared before today.
Yeah,
kind of
because
thing.
until now, no one cared about TPM. Now suddenly, people do care. But as I say, my prediction is that on your consumer custom built computer, I don't think you're going to need it. Now you could put one on there and it'd be rad, because then you could run BitLocker keyless and it would be awesome.
Absolutely.
And there's plenty of good reasons to run it, but I don't think you'll need it. That's my prediction.
No. And also, from the little I know about FTPM or firmware TPM,
Yeah.
it's a case that it means that you don't need it at all, because obviously the CPU has a secure enclave to run the key exchange and stuff in.
And on AMD systems, that is called FTP in the BIOS. And on Intel, is called PTT, is what I've heard.
Oh, right, okay. I've not seen what it's specifically called on the motherboards, but I know it's called FTPM because it's firmware TPM.
Yeah. On AMD systems, if you drill into your BIOS, it's called FTPM. And on Intel, I believe they call it PTT. Don't ask me what it stands for. No idea. Someone in the chat might know. However, FTPM for AMD, PTT for Intel. If you've got 8th gen or newer, or Ryzen or newer, you've got a firmware TPM built into your CPU. Now, again, though, support for this seems to be a bit unknown at the moment. Word on the wire is that although Ryzen 1000 has FTPM, apparently that doesn't work. But the issue is that, again, because Microsoft announced so little this week, we actually don't know. There's so much speculation everywhere at the moment. And there's no hard information on what we actually need. Mainly because there's no beta. When we actually get a beta version, I think we'll probably start getting some actual hard answers.
Maybe. See, I think we're going to have two very different circumstances. Where we're going to have, obviously, if you're just installing Windows from an ISO or something, there's going to be a very different set of requirements to whether you're buying a computer new with Windows 11 on. And I think we're going to have massively different requirements. Like, I think Windows 11 is probably going to run on 2 gigs of RAM on a 32 gig hard drive. It will run. It is not compliant with the minimum specifications. But it will function, kind of thing. So obviously, if you are an individual, a home user who wants to manually upgrade stuff and install ISOs, manually doing fresh installs, it will work fine. Because
again, we've got to remember,
I imagine.
Because again, we've got to remember that part of the reason for minimum requirements is to push up the bar for OEMs. Because many of you in the chat, you may or may not have seen, but there still exists in the wild, many of them. I've got one on the shelf somewhere. I'm deliberating whether I'm going to go and pick it up or not. But the 32 gigabyte eMMC netbook. So case in point, the HP Stream 7 or the HP Stream 11 as well. You get these poxy little netbooks with a potato CPU in and 32 gigabytes of onboard storage in the shape of eMMC, which is basically a soldered on SD card. And they are still out there. You can still go and buy them today. They're awful laptops. But the problem is they're the cheapest laptops money can buy. So people go out and they buy them because they're like, I'm poor. I'm going to buy the cheapest laptop I can find. And these things are horrendous and should not be on sale. But the minimum requirements for Windows 10 is 32 gigabytes. So HP can sell these laptops and they can say, well, it meets the minimum requirements for Windows. Now, the thing is, with Windows 11, if Microsoft set the bar for the minimum requirements higher, they say, no, it must have 64 gigs, it must have TPM 2.0, etc. You push up the bar and you eradicate these shit laptops. So you make it so HP cannot sell those laptops, so Microsoft stop getting because Microsoft take a lot of the flack for this. People go, oh, I got a Windows 10 laptop, it was awful. Much slower than my Windows 7 laptop, because they bought one of these poxy netbooks.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Microsoft take the flack for that, not HP, despite the fact that it's 100% HP's fault.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a case that to a degree, I think the minimum, what I will call, in a clumsy term, the minimum OEM specifications are still too low. I think the minimum OEM specification should have been higher.
Yeah.
Certainly on forcing storage space and forcing processors. Because basically it's a case of they should have mandated what is a 10th gen i3.
Yeah.
I think, basically.
I agree with putting in a minimum requirement for CPUs as well. Yeah, especially
Well, certainly
also,
a higher one than it is.
Yeah, they also need a quantifiable number as well, because the problem is that if you just say dual core processor, well, the AMD E1 is a dual core processor,
Precisely, yeah.
but it's also 1 gigahertz boost dual core processor with an IPC of my wristwatch.
Yeah.
And this is a fitness band. So that's saying a lot, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
So it's just like, this is the problem. If you say minimum requirements is a dual core processor, that's not saying much, guys.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the problem. So, yeah. So this is the thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I feel to a degree that the minimum spec increase was not aggressive enough.
But again, again, just to reiterate again, we say it was not aggressive enough, but we have to bear in mind this is for OEMs, not for what you, the person who has a custom-built gaming rig, require.
Yeah.
There are two completely different fields that we're talking about here. The enthusiast space, completely different animal from OEM space.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I mean, proven by the fact of last week we installed XP on a i7-4790K.
Yeah.
A processor that wasn't even dreamed of when XP dropped support.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's a case of, it's a completely different environment and animal, and it's a case that I'm not saying that the minimum specification, in the sense of the absolute minimum it runs on, for me, for you, for the person watching, should be forced to be higher for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm saying the minimum standard of machine that is sold as compatible with 11 should be higher.
Yes, agreed. Also, Pierrot, I'm so sorry.
Oh no! I just read the message that you're apologizing for, and I'm just like, oh no! Would you like to upgrade to an FX?
Oh no! Oh no! Not shaming. Look, people got what they got. You work with what you got to work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's be realistic. You know. Yeah, as I say, no hate. You know, not everyone's made of money. Not everyone can just go out and buy expensive stuff. However,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
But that doesn't mean that the E1 is a good processor, though.
Yes.
So yeah.
There is a large difference between mocking the processor because it should not have been released.
Yes.
And mocking someone for having it.
Yes.
And I never intend to mock a person for what they own, simply the item for its existence.
Yes.
Because it annoys me that AMD made it, and then it annoys me that OEMs picked it up and went, this is good enough for us to sell. We are happy to put our name on products with this in.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
This
is the problem, is that a lot of people don't realize that the cheapest computers that money can buy are literally not fit for purpose. Like, if you go out and you buy the cheapest car that money can buy, if you go and buy, you know, a stupid Fiat 500 Twin Air or something like that.
Do you know how much they cost now? They're nearly £15,000.
No.
Yeah.
Good grief. Well, years ago, when I was working, when I was a contractor for my old boss, in joke, he bought a Rover City, and at the time that it was a really things Rover City.
I've never even heard of it.
You're blessed. They're awful. It was like £6,000 brand new. So this thing is cheap.
Wow.
And the dashboard was made entirely of this plastic. You know, it was really awful. But it does 70 miles an hour on the motorway. It's fit for purpose. However, the problem is, with the cheapest computer money can buy, is that it literally isn't fit for purpose because it cannot run Windows to any kind of
pleasurable experience.
I'm not talking about a good user experience, but an acceptable
tolerable one.
A tolerable user experience. And again, like, user experience is a term that I've been using a lot this month. I've discovered that term and I like it because, well, that's the thing. It's just, again, it's just
you're becoming one of them.
Well, it describes things really well. It's like with that XP build we did. You know, it was a case of not having ACPI doesn't stop us from using it. It just diminishes the user experience.
Using XP diminishes the user experience.
It does. It does. Having an E1 is a diminishing user experience.
Yes.
You know? Or no, sorry, it's a diminished user experience. But yes, I don't know. 6,000, but a rebadged 2,000 Tata. What the hell is a Tata? Is that like
it's an Indian car brand.
I was about to say, is that an Indian car brand?
Yes, they are. They are the brand that owns Rover.
I was about to say Rover is owned by an Indian brand, aren't they? Yeah.
As far as I'm aware. Also, the brand that owns Land Rover.
Really?
I think.
I thought Land Rover were owned by Ford or someone like that.
I don't recall.
Yeah.
Or used to, or something. I can't remember. There was something very. This is very much going from. Oh yes, I remember watching Top Gear one time on YouTube when it was at 7 pixels.
Yes.
But yes, and Jaguar. That was it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I thought that was Ford. Oh well.
Yeah. See, there we go. Okay, I wasn't completely off my rocker.
Yeah.
I'm pleased. Thank you.
Oh well.
But yes, it's amazing. When you look at car brands, if you went how many actual parent companies there are, there's like 4.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and it's just like, oh, okay.
The illusion of choice. Like, I'm not one of these.
Oh no, let's not go down that path.
Yeah, no, let's not. Yeah. Anyway.
So anyway, motherboards.
Yeah, well, we are just about to roll over to the 1 hour marker. That's the Windows 11 talk. Anything else you want to talk about with Windows 11, or are we done? I've said my bit. I want to talk about TPM and the fact that I don't think we're going to need it.
I want to do a super quick wrap up that says I'm waiting until there's an actual RTM ISO, and then I'll start judging it.
Yes.
Because before that point, everything is subject to change.
Yes. And even though Microsoft announced Windows 11, the only hands-on stuff that anyone has had, anything you've seen of Windows 11 running on any YouTuber or anything like that, is all going to be that leaked copy. And because when Microsoft released, when we saw the picture of the new settings screen from Microsoft, that, I believe, is not in the leaked version.
As far as I'm aware, no.
Yeah.
Someone else said that as well in the Discord, I think.
Yeah, which confirms my theory that the leaked version is definitely early and in all probability... I'm looking at the wrong camera again. That means the leaked version is early and almost certainly not representative of what we'll actually get. So as I say, for all the people that are rushing out saying, oh, I'm going to download Windows 11 on my thing, it's just like, remember, that leaked version almost certainly night and day different to what you'll actually get.
And also that leaked version will be a developer preview, for want of a better description. So most of the installer won't have its checks built in, won't have the thing saying, does it have a TPM? Does it have 4 gigs of RAM? Does it have a processor?
Yeah. So everyone who's running around going, oh, well, I've already run Windows 11, so my one's good enough. No, you're running the leak.
Which doesn't have half of the stuff in it. And I'm not saying it's going to get locked down and so on, but it's a case that it might.
Yeah.
And the insider build is coming in a couple of days. So we'll wait and see, and I will update one of my machines to that, and I'll have a look and I'll go, yay, it's a nothing burger because it's Windows 10.
Yeah.
Basically,
it's going to be Windows 10 with a skin on it, isn't it?
Kind of. It's basically the same kernel. It's basically the same driver stack. So nothing is going to be much different. Although apparently it does have some performance improvements in the scheduler for non-homogeneous designs.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah. I might install it on something. I need something in here that's on Insider Rings, because I don't have anything on Insider Rings. So when, you
should do it on your laptop.
Yeah, I guess I could, because that's the thing is, the problem is I look around, I'm like, what have I got in here that's not mission critical? And I'm just like, well, the laptop isn't mission critical, and technically the Lianli isn't either. The Lianli isn't mission critical, so that could be on Insider Ring. But then on the other hand, yeah, I don't know. I could put it on the Corsair because that's not mission critical.
That would be a good place for it to be, I feel like.
Yeah, also especially because that's on the shop floor. So if someone comes in and they say, "Oh, I've heard there's a new thing of Windows," and be like, "Yeah, I've got the Insider build over here if you want to have a look at it."
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I'll put it on the 220.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that's a computer that is suited for it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I was going to say
the only thing to be aware of is you will need to be signed in with a Microsoft account.
That's fine. Yeah.
But
yeah.
other than that,
yeah, that's fine. I need to. I think yeah, Adamant IT does have a Microsoft account. Of course, it does. Yeah. I'll sign it on that. But yes, again, friendly reminder to people: don't run Insider builds on your main rig. It sounds obvious, but trust, like, not on a regular basis, but several times I've had friends or randoms message me on Discord going, my computer's mucking up and it's got a weird Windows 10 bug because they're on dev builds and Insider rings.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, right, you're on an Insider ring. It's an unstable build.
You're running a developer preview.
Yeah.
Why are you running a developer preview?
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, I just wanted the new version. And it's just like, don't run developer stuff on production, you idiot.
Certainly, if you're not in the category of people who's just like, oh no, I guess I'll reinstall Windows 10.
Yeah.
Ta-da, I'm redone in 15 minutes.
Because that's the...
If you're not in that category of people, don't run it on something live.
Because preview builds and developer builds, they do have bugs in them. They will do weird things. I remember when Windows 10 was in public beta, every preview build of Windows 10 had a quirk in it.
Oh yeah.
Not all of them were breaking. Some of them were deal breaking. I've got a video on my private YouTube somewhere of one of the early Windows 10 previews where just it had an Explorer crash. So just Explorer would just crash and reload every couple of minutes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It would just you'd be using it and it would just go flash and you're like, oh, you know, it wasn't break. It was just enough that you thought it was okay and then it wasn't. It was.
Yeah. I had that on one of my computers a couple of months ago, but Explorer has got to the point of recovery where it would crash and reopen everything and you couldn't tell. Yeah. The only way you could tell was by watching it go.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's impressive level of recovery. That auto recovery kind of thing is very impressive.
Yeah. Also, Noel, you can bypass Microsoft account bobbins on Windows 11 too. Probably.
Yeah.
I've no doubt.
I don't see why not.
However, one of the things as well is that when you're looking at preview stuff, and certainly from my perspective, I want to look at Windows 11 from the perspective of what Microsoft want it to be.
Yeah.
So, like Microsoft, in their vision, the experience they want you to have is to be signed in with a Microsoft account, so everything works synchronously.
Yeah.
So therefore, I want to be doing that. Now, I'm not going to do that everywhere because there are some places where I can make a judgment call and be like, I know what that experience is, and that's not something that this system needs.
Yeah.
However, there are other, but if I'm looking at a preview of something, you know, I want to see what they're planning. I want to see what their vision is.
Yeah.
So, as I say, although you can I've no doubt you can bypass the Microsoft account, but like, I don't want to be messing around with it. I want to see what Microsoft's vision of it looks like.
Exactly. Because it's also another case of it clues you into things in directions they're considering going.
It's also more accurate to what the end customers are going to be seeing as well. Because you might say,
in a lot of
I
cases.
bypassed all of the Microsoft account on my system. Yeah, but your customers didn't. So this is what your customers are seeing. And if your customers are seeing something different to you, you fall out of touch. So you've got to be a little bit careful with this sort of thing.
It's also a case of, to a degree, why I don't think either of us run remotely close to customized Windows installs.
Yeah, I customize as little as I can.
I customize the wallpaper.
Yeah.
And make sure the screen resolution is the correct screen resolution and refresh rate, and I'm done.
It's the same. It's the same reason why I don't like debloating and stuff like that, because it's a case of, I've no doubt that there are some benefits to debloating, but all of that is taking further away from the mainstream experience of Windows, which is what now. if you're not in the repair space, like if you're just a gamer at home running on their own system and you don't care what other people are running, then obviously you can do whatever you want and it doesn't matter. But for me, I want to be running something that's very on my daily drivers. I want my daily experience of Windows to be very reasonably close to what everyone else in the world is doing.
Yeah.
So then when someone says, "Oh, I've got this problem," I can be like, "Oh, yes, I know all about that." Whereas if someone else says, "I've got a problem with my X," and you're going, "Well, I'm running Linux, so I don't know."
Yeah. It's very unhelpful when Microsoft is 90% of market share.
Yes.
Something like that.
Again,
So
I'm not
unhelpful.
saying so I'm not saying that you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, or it's bad.
Yeah.
It's just not practical for anyone who is working in the support business, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. But it's also kind of a case to a degree, is kind of being aware of people doing those things. Just so you're aware of people doing those things. So if something looks very squicky, you can kind of go, "Oh, I wonder if someone's done this," and know what the undo button is for that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. Part of it is also laziness. I need to look into debloating at some point, but also just my experience of debloating is when, like, someone just mentioned it, that I had one recently. Yeah, I had a customer recently where the customer is a kid with a very expensive computer, and he'd seen some video about debloating Windows, so he downloaded a debloating tool and said, "Do all the debloat," and stripped about half the Windows system files out and completely butchered the install of Windows.
Yeah.
And because I've got no idea what he's done, because he's got no idea what he's done, time to reinstall Windows.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's the thing, is people often wonder why I'm so against debloating, because that's my experience of it.
Yeah,
when customers come in with half their System32 folder missing.
Yeah,
you
or
know.
just like 90% of the Microsoft services being inexplicably half deleted.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Just a lot of the time, it's not even disabled; it's actually gone. Because a lot of people, it's not good enough for Cortana to be disabled. They're like, "No, I want to delete it," and it's just like, if it's not running, it's not using system resources, so who cares? And they're like, "No, I want it gone."
Yeah.
And it's just like, fine. And so you get people in, and now their Explorer doesn't work because Cortana has been deleted, and Cortana is knitted into Explorer.
Yeah.
Which is why Cortana still isn't dead, because one does not simply delete Cortana. You can't delete Cortana.
Yeah.
You can only butcher it to the point where it doesn't function.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm ranting.
Indeed. Anyway.
Am I contemplating the place of the CMOS battery? This is a normal place to put a CMOS battery on a motherboard. But yes,
attached.
Anyway. Yes, attached.
A normal place for it to be is attached in some fashion.
Yeah, well, unlike this laptop over here, like, this is a complete tangent.
Oh, no.
This is a laptop that I'm working on. Video out probably next week. Oh no, I need to take the covers off it. But this is one of those ones where you see a design choice in the laptop, and you're like, why did you do that? For what purpose was this done? You know. So hold on a sec while I quickly take this cover off. Is it going to come off easily? Come on. There we go. Right. Get a load of this. Bench cam. Go. Look at this. USB board. It's got the USB on it. This is the USB I/O board on the side. There's a space and the pads to put the CMOS battery, but it's there on a little fly lead. Why? What purpose? Why?
Did it allow them to make the case 2 millimeters thinner?
I don't think so, because when I was looking online, because I need to replace this board, I found another one that does actually have the battery holder there.
Is that the same model?
No. I'll admit that it's not the same model, so maybe it was a height issue. But, like, I don't know. Oh, I think you might be right, actually.
If your laptop is too thin to have a watch battery in it, possibly your laptop needs to be thicker.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
Wow.
I have a suspicion you're probably right. It was a height constraint. And the model where the battery is actually mounted there, that's probably a slightly higher-end model that is probably a couple of mil thicker anyway. So,
and probably has a cooling fan that's actually big enough.
Yes. unlike that cooling system. But I don't know. That's just a random thing that made me go. I saw it. I was just like, but why though? So yeah.
I always think the M2 connector is the wrong way round when just looking at it without something in there. It always kind of looks like it's the wrong way round, and stuff should plug into it like that,
Oh,
not
right,
like
yeah.
that. It's just,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, that is correct. Never mind.
Right. Okay. Right. I think we're done with the Windows stuff. Right. We've done all of those things. All right. So, what brand? It's a Dell. It's a Dell Inspiron 5000 series. So yes. Does that happen in computer? In my industry, mechanics give feedback to engineers to help improve design. Oof. It probably happens at high-level repair stuff, like authorized repair centers and stuff like that. It wouldn't happen.
It.
Um,
Because
I might be giving them way
based
too
off
much
of
credit.
what we've seen from authorized repair centers, they'll go, "Oh, this is liquid damage. Let's replace literally every component in the computer. Ta-da! It has been repaired." No, you've just replaced the machine.
Yeah.
That is not a repair.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
So,
I want to believe, but no. So yes. Oh well.
wasn't that X-Files? No.
Yes. X-Files, I want to believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Is it time for your keyboard?
Oh wait, no, that's Doctor Who. Never mind.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes. I mean, it certainly can be.
It can be.
If you would like to.
Let's look at your keyboard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to move this out of the way. Ooh. I'll go and get you. I nearly bit my tongue then.
It's there. It's there. It's there. It's right there.
It's there.
It's right there.
It's right
within
there.
arm's reach.
It's within arm's reach. Right. This was something we didn't get around to last week, so we're going to do this now, and we're gonna natter. Yeah. If you thought we were going to talk about USB Type-C, then I misled you. What we actually mean is we're going to try and retrofit USB Type-C to a thing. So I'm going to adjust camera setup. We go to that, and then we go, where's the capture? Live Gamer Mini. Bam!
Hi.
Do we want to be down there? That'll do. We live down here now. So I'm going to adjust this. Yeah, let's do that. This is Caradog's code keyboard. And we mentioned this last week, but it has a USB micro port on it. And we thought we'd try and see what's involved in a possible video coming up. Is we wanted to see if we could fit Type-C to this. Not because it makes the keyboard go faster or anything, but just for ease of connectivity. Because Caradog you're almost 100% Type-C now, aren't you?
Yeah, either Type-C or full-size USB-A.
Yeah, and you're trying to rid yourself of USB micro.
Basically.
So, yeah, we want to see if we can retrofit Type-C to this keyboard. So what we thought we'd do is we just open this up and have a look-see. Once we've had a look-see, we know what we might need to order in order to convert this thing. So yeah, we're going to open this up and see what's inside.
I started looking during the week at custom keyboard kits and stuff. And very quickly went, no, I'm fine, thanks. Just because the documentation around them is completely lacking.
Yeah.
The list of whether stuff is compatible is completely lacking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like the fact that I'm supposedly buying £150 parts where even the manufacturer won't tell me whether it's compatible with anything at all.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
What?
It's a bit... Yeah, the custom keyboard scene kind of really is a matter of, like, it's a bit... what's the word for it? It's a bit of a closed community kind of thing. When you're in the community, everyone knows what's going on. But if you're just like, oh, that looks cool. How do I, how do I get in on that? And they're just like, well, you buy the parts and you assemble it. And it's just like, yeah, but what works with what? And yeah, you kind of have to sit and read through a lot of parts of this kind of thing.
It's not like
I'm not saying it's
building a
difficult or
PC.
anything, but yeah,
It's not like building an actual PC where there are actual standards and specifications and stuff. But yeah.
yeah. DNA Electronics can't stand them horizontal return keys. I agree.
Well-
ISO for life. But the problem is, if you run ISO layout, it's really hard to get keycaps.
Also, it's a case of this is an ANSI keyboard, so it's going to
Yeah.
have ANSI keycaps.
Yeah, I entirely agree. I don't like the ANSI ANSI. Yeah, ANSI. That's what you said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the ANSI layout either with the horizontal thing. But the main thing that bothers me is that it's how do you do a pound sterling symbol?
Alt 137.
Yeah. See, the problem is I like to run 10-less keyboards, and you can't do alt codes on the top row.
No.
So this is why I don't like this. This is why I don't like American keyboards, and this is why if I get one of my American keyboards, this was the principal reason why I stopped using this keyboard at home, because this is also an American layout or ANSI layout keyboard, and because it doesn't have a pound sterling symbol on it, which of course is the Queen's currency. Thank you very much. I can't do that, and I can't do alt codes because I don't have a numpad. So you literally like it's just and so you're like, okay, we'll set it to UK layout then. All right, so you set it to UK layout and you get your pound sterling, but now your backslashes don't work because the backslash is in a different location. So yeah, whatever. You say you can map it. How do you map it? What software do you use for that? Because that is of interest to me. Yeah, what software do you use to remap a keyboard? Do you do any remapping?
No, although...
You just memorize alt codes.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, although if I was going to do that, I'd just reprogram it in the actual microprocessor, in the actual controller for the
That's
keyboard.
pretty cool. Can you do that on lots of keyboards, or is that a trick of this?
You can do that on a reasonable number of non-mainstream mechanical keyboards, as far as I'm aware. But also, I think you can set it per Windows install.
See, MS Keyboard Layout and stuff like that, they make a new layout file, and you have a new layout file that you have to specifically use, and it's annoying because I think I've done that before, and it kind of works, but it's also really annoying. So
the other thing you have got on this one is the dip switches.
Yeah, that's super cool. That the dip switch is that.
Where are we going?
Do you want to figure this out?
There you go.
Yeah, that changes your physical layout, doesn't it?
Yes, because it's got QWERTY, Colmac, and Dvorak built into the keyboard.
Yeah.
Plus, also it's got a remap of the caps lock key.
Cool. To what?
I can't remember what it is, but I don't use it.
Yeah. Imagine using Dvorak's or Colmac's.
Oh, I think it's a caps lock disable. There's a option
right.
to just disable the caps lock key.
Fair enough. Right, let's start opening this up while we talk.
Is this the version 2? Yeah, it's the 2B.
V2B, yeah.
The version 3 comes with Type C, and
Is that a screw?
and also comes with a more programmable controller.
Yeah.
You can just control it there and then, or program it basically there and then.
In controller programming is very cool. I approve of that because obviously that way when you've remapped your keys to how you want them to be, that's saved within the keyboard, not in software. And that I very much approve of. I like that a lot. So let's start opening this thing up and we're going to see what it's going to take to change out that USB port. This might be a big old nothing burger. We might actually go in there and go, oh wow, that's not happening. And decide that it's easier just to, well, I don't know actually. Either way, we'll have a look.
To just not care.
Yes. Or I might have a look at that and be like, I can't be asked with this, Caradog. You can have a go if you want, but I might take one look at it and go like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to find the heckin' screws first. Anyone under there? Come on.
Are you a screw?
Is there a screw here? Man, this thing's not going without a fight. Am I going to need to put some heat on that?
Quality rubber.
It is. It's very good quality rubber foot. There is no screw there.
No, as far as I'm aware.
Anything under there? Oh, there's ones under here.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's just the line across there.
Let's see if we can... There we go. There's one.
It's also delightfully creaky as a keyboard.
It is a very creaky keyboard. Yeah. It's... Yeah, and also this thing's got the most flex ever which I can't show on camera, so I won't. But it flexes like a gymnast, this keyboard.
But then the actual deck doesn't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, whatever.
It's a weird animal, this. And that.
But yes, I basically bought it just for the clear switches.
Oh yeah, because this thing's got Cherry MX Clear in.
Yeah.
And when you first were talking about Cherry MX Clear, I was like, oh, you're one of those where you can't just use browns like a normal person. You got to have specific switches. You got to.
Wow.
However, I have to admit, the clears in these, which are very heavy switches, they require more force to press down, do actually feel really good. I would actually like it. Do you have 2 of these, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you fancy loaning me one at some point for like a week?
Maybe.
Because I would like to borrow one from you and try it for like a week at home as a daily, just to see if the novelty wears off or not.
Yes.
This is not coming open. Oh, I'm onto something there. I'm hearing a creak. Nope.
This, luckily, is just the home one, not the work one.
Let me in! Bloody hell. I'm going to look for more... do you reckon there's a screw under that label?
I've no idea.
Yeah. I think there is. I'm gonna go for it. Ooh. Oh no, I don't think it is. I'm not finding a divot for the screwdriver. Nope.
It's just a weirdly poorly fitting.
I think it's just a molding mark under there. I think it's just the molding mark. Man, this thing is the force is strong with this one. I might have to take off some more feet and look for more screws.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting a word in edgeways here, literally.
I would imagine that there are 2 here.
Yeah, I'm gonna check under these feet. Hello. Nothing. All right then.
Di nada.
Bonjour. Get the Dremel out. I don't think that is an option that Caradog would appreciate.
No.
Still nothing. Nope. They did not hide any screws. I mean, that's a good thing, because I would be very... Like, there's no need to hide screws under this thing.
No. It is not a pretty keyboard.
Yeah. Why don't you use plastic opener? The metal one will leave marks. Everyone says that. A plastic opener is going to snap off on this. And I'll tell you what, I'll prove it. Because everyone tells me to use plastic openers. And I'm just like, I don't know what plastic openers you've got. But every plastic opener I've used has snapped. I'm going to find one because I've got a box of them somewhere. And I'm going to try and open it with plastic openers.
Ah, got it.
Oh, have you got it open?
Yeah.
Alright.
It was a very recessed clip.
And I can't find... I've got a top.
Let's just stand up. Standing up is much easier. Instead of this silly little stool. Oh!
I've got
Judy!
I've got a box of plastic prying tools somewhere, and I can't find any of them now. But yeah, plastic tools, you dig it in and it just snaps off. But yeah, and people say sort of, oh, metal tools leave marks. Then be more careful.
Also,
Like,
I'm not particularly concerned. I dropped it.
Yeah. Like, I get loads of comments on my videos saying sort of, oh, you should use plastic tools. I'm just like, they're slow and they break. Use metal tools and get good. You know, that's literally my opinion of that.
Stay.
Metal tools are faster, and if you're leaving marks, you're being too vicious with them.
I mean, I'll probably leave marks all over this.
I mean, yeah, if you go in deep and you go, get open, then yeah, it's going to leave marks. But yeah, I don't leave marks on stuff. I'm not sure if you're snapping. Oh, no, you're not snapping clips. They're just really vicious clips.
There we go.
Either way, yeah. I was obviously being a little bit too passive because it wasn't my keyboard. But yes.
I love the fact that I blew this one out with an airline specifically because it was coming on camera.
Yeah.
And still got all of that.
Yeah,
It's like-
man. The only way to properly clean a ooh, who's come off there? We have lost. No, we did take that screw out. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was going to say we did snap a post, but the screw was out. I wonder what was holding that up. Or actually, I wonder if that was already snapped from the drop, because you say it was you dropped it at one point. Because we definitely that screw was removed.
that was the corner I dropped.
Yeah, so that was just a snap screw
Yeah,
post.
because that was the corner I dropped.
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't spin when I tried to remove the screw.
Probably
it was
because you've still got
Yeah, it
that
was
much of the
held
post
in with
left.
interference. Yeah,
So yeah.
but yes. Anyway, right, okay. So all the action is going to be going on the back. So does that come off now? We've got hang on a sec. The USB is on a separate board here. I can see it coming off. Can we do that?
Oh yeah. Oh, you've got loads of length anyway on
Yeah.
the cable.
Okay, let's get that guy out. That's a big connector for what it does. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, that's delightfully modular. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Unfortunately, it's heat. Oh no, it's not heat staked in. That is small Phillips.
Good lord.
Are you looking at all of the stuff that's still
No,
in
no,
there?
no. I'm looking at the fact that there is this metal plate that is actually quite thick.
Oh wow, yeah. That explains the weight of this thing.
And so this bit actually bends that much.
Yeah. However, this bends that much.
It's like, yes, that would be where that flex is. The other thing I want to do is test whether this LED works.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a sec because we should just be able to stick the multimeter on that in diode mode.
Yeah. I'm just checking to see if there's any damage or anything around it.
I'm going
That's
to
a
take
bit
off that sellotape.
No. It's fine. I'm going to attack this with a toothbrush.
I was going to say you can actually detail this while we've got it apart.
Because look at that.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
I think that's flux.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's flux. I don't think that... Like, you haven't spilled anything on this, have you? That looks like just
No.
manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just manufacturing.
But yes. I'm going to use
Yeah.
my nice clean new ones.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Caradog very passive-aggressively showed up today with a lot of nice new toothbrushes and cleaning cloths. I was like, what are you implying about my toothbrushes and cleaning cloths?
Yes, I turned up with tools that may be limited in this place.
How very dare. I do have new toothbrushes.
Do you?
Yeah.
You just choose to use the grotty splayed ones.
Maybe.
Also, these are for glasses, not for, like, computer cleaning.
Noted.
As in spectacles.
Yes. This entire thing is a spectacle.
Something like that.
Right, let's take a look at this board while Caradog does stuff. Where's my focus? Right, let's go into there, and I need to take one of my full screens off of.
Full screen.
Yeah, I need. What I'll do, hang on a sec, I need to rearrange my windows so I can see better.
Oh, okay. I guess we're going this way.
Right, preview, scale to canvas. There we go. Right. There's the USB board. So the bad news is there's actually a fair bit going on this board. But the good news is, see, basically what we want to do is we want to replace this with a Type-C connector. So we need to figure out what this is all doing. I mean, we've got some capacitors there. That's no big deal. However, we've also got a couple of resistors, and those are probably inductors on the data lines. And we need to figure out what those are doing if we're going to adapt that to Type-C. So the question is, are we going to try and replace this entire board, or are we going to try and solder a Type-C connector onto this board?
Oh, see, that's all I was planning on doing, was taking that one off, sticking a Type-C on top,
Yeah.
and then going, ta-da!
Not quite that easy, because the Type-C connector is the Type-C connector has got what, 18 pins? I think, because it's
The,
9 times,
the
9
USB
times
3
2,
one
isn't it?
does. Yeah, but you've
Yeah.
also got USB 2 Type-C ones, which should be the same pin out.
I suppose, yeah. What? Do you reckon they'll be pin compatible? I don't know, are they? Let's find out.
Well, I am purely imagining they would be, because I can't see why you'd change the pin out for USB 2.
Whoops, there were screws in that. Hang on a sec, I'm losing screws. There we go, there's the 3 screws.
Where did they come from?
They were holding this board in.
Okay, I thought they were screws I just lost from other computers.
No. Alright, I'm going to put those over there. Brushy.
Oh, I've just noticed that the silk screen is labelled.
Go back to there a sec. Hold a sec. Bench cam. Focus. Bam. 1, 2, 3, 4. The silk screen is that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Like page down, delete, plus, minus, 0,
Yeah.
BN, etc.
That's quite neat if you're actually desoldering switches and putting them in, because if you're changing the physical layout of the keyboard, so you're going to, like, for example, if you wanted to convert this to an ISO layout, which would require you, like, that's where the ISO / key should be, but it's missing because so you could desolder some of these switches and put in the ISO layout switches and convert the entire keyboard to ISO layout.
We should absolutely do that.
One of them. I mean, yeah. I mean, we can do if you want. That would be very easy to do.
Absolutely do that with one of them. I'll have to get a new one.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I want to look into that post snapped as well. No, that one's intact. This is why I want to do a custom keyboard, because a custom keyboard, you're supposed to buy it and solder in all your switches, but that's the thing. Custom keyboards are just so expensive because all the parts are made in small runs. They're incredibly expensive for what they are. I really want to do some custom keyboard stuff, but it's a lot of money, man. You need to budget £200 or £300 for a custom keyboard, and that probably won't even have RGB backlighting on it. It will be solid color.
You say that like it's a problem.
I want RGB though, so it can be any color I want. Although that much being said, I always set my keyboard to white anyway, so yeah. Are we using glass cleaner on the board? Yes, just using glass cleaner.
Yeah.
So yeah, because
Brushy.
glass cleaner is all you need. Glass cleaner is a little bit more effective than alcohol, but it's also non-conductive and it evaporates without a residue. So why don't we use a USB Type-C to micro USB adapter? We could hot glue it to the back of the keyboard.
Because that doesn't involve taking a keyboard apart and soldering.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're right, but also we're doing this not because that's a sensible thing to do, but we're doing this because we can. That's the idea.
Also because I want the actual physical connector physically on the keyboard to not be micro B.
Yeah. So it's kind of a case of it's not because this is something that needs to be done. It's not a case of who will let us, but who will stop us. So, do I game in the dark with the light on? I always have a desk light on. That's the funny thing. I don't need a backlight on my keyboard, but they're so pretty, you know? That's the problem. I don't need a backlight, but they're so pretty. So it's tough, man. Right, I'm going to hit up eBay, and I'm going to have a look around, see what our options are. So I'm going to change my heckin' screen layout again. All right, let's put that there, and let's move OBS over to there, and let's go eBay. That's Pierrot with the air compressor out the back. So desktop. And let's make me smaller because I'm obnoxiously large. I live up here now. Right, so USB Type-C connector. So, like, firstly, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm trying to figure this out as we go, basically. I'm just trying to figure it out. So, what's a Type-C connector look like? What can we find? These are all adapters. I want actual raw connectors. So this is one option. This is something that is what I originally had in mind here. Let's zoom in a bit.
Yeah, basically.
This is what I was envisioning for this. So look at this. This is a Type-C connector on a breakout board. So this is one option here. So we would hot glue that into the back of the case and then just stick the USB 2 lines on there. But the difficulty is that the one that we've got, if I switch back to the bench, so let me focus the bench cam again. But the problem is the one we've got, so look, we've got our USB 2 lines coming in, but we've also got this extra stuff. We've got extra action going on here. We've got some extra inductors and some extra resistors across some of the lines. And I don't know what those are doing. So, yeah, people saying AliExpress, DigiKey Manager and stuff like that. I'm not worried about the price right now. I just want to see what exists, basically. So, yeah, crunchy audio suddenly. Yeah, the crunchy audio is because there's because Caradog is toothbrushing and there's a compressor running in the background. So, yeah, that will disappear, don't worry. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's more of a case of what is this stuff doing? Let's go for the super close-up just so I can see it without the camera moving all over the place. Let's go. Let's smash it in the face. Right, let me move this back over to where I can see it. Actually, I'll leave that there. Where's my preview? Where's my full screen preview? Window preview. Put that up there. There we go. Right. So, let's see. So, here's the thing. We've got a USB 2 line, so we can put those onto one of those USB Type-C breakouts. But what is this stuff all doing? Those are going to be inductors. So that's just filters to stop things getting zapped when you hot plug it. I think. Yeah. What have we got here? Because we've got extra lines. We've got 2 going up the middle there. Oh, that's, yeah, okay. Those are the data lines. And that, see, what's that guy doing? Is that ground? I don't know. Because we've got 5 volts coming in at the top here. Those 2 thin ones are going to be the data lines. So what's that? Might need to start buzzing this out. Let's see.
I think that one just vanishes. I don't think that is a 1.
Yeah.
I think it's just a spacer.
Yeah, you might be right. It might be going to ground. And they've just put ground on both sides of the data lines.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
I think it's just ground between the data lines.
Yeah. So we can easily figure this out by buzzing it out. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to start buzzing it out. So let's go over to ground. And let's see. So ground, beep, beep, and yeah, it's ground. So that is also ground then. So that's our D plus, that's our D minus, that's ground, that's our 5 volts. Fine, okay. So these capacitors are all between 5 volt and ground. They're probably not needed. I doubt very much that those are needed. There's other stuff there as well between 5 volt and ground. And again, another inductor there. That goes under L202 to ground. Yeah. So, is L202 going to ground? That's not ground. That goes somewhere else. That's 5 volts. No, that's 5 volts. That one.
Oh yeah.
And that's going under here. So that's 5 volts, and then there's a via going from here to here, probably on the other side of the board. I stand corrected. It's literally just ground on the other side. There's some way there. In fact, the trace probably goes under C203. Oh, it does. I can see it, I think. Bloody hell. Hang on a sec. I need to get closer to that. This
is a shockingly complicated layout, given all of the space they had to the left.
Yeah. Hang on. Sorry, the bench cam is a long extension, which means it doesn't like going this low. So I'm having trouble getting in super close here. Something I need a microscope. I'm aware. It's way over-engineered. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Mr. Guru. I'm looking at this going, do they really need this? I'm pretty certain they don't need most of this stuff. So now it's a question of how much, like, is any of this actually needed? Because I don't think it is. There we go. Right.
No.
Yeah, that's fine. Let go of it. And then I'll bring that one down. We've just got to move a bit closer. There we go. There we go. Now we can see what's going on. Right. So, yeah. So we've got to jump under L202 there. That's ground going under there. So then 5 volts. That guy goes up there under C203 up to there, I think. So, yeah. These capacitors, bet money those aren't needed. L202, that's just an inductor. That's probably not needed. No idea what this guy is doing. What's TP? Oh, hang on. TP?
Toilet paper.
Oh, TP, that's test point, because there's a test point there. So what's VAR? Yeah, what is VAR? What is that doing? Variable... No idea. Anyone know what VAR 201 is? What the hell is that guy? Varista, yeah. What's the Varista doing then? I'm just going to remove my focus. Yeah, why is that there? Do you reckon that is an overcurrent thing? It's overcurrent protection?
I mean, there are a lot of LEDs that do go quite bright.
Yeah.
So maybe.
OC protection. Yeah, heat sensitive fuse. Yeah, overcurrent protection.
Because obviously there are 101 white LEDs.
Yeah. So, I mean, we might be able to solder that onto the Type C board easily enough. Because all that has to do is go between 5 volt and ground. Or we could just say, who cares? If it blows up, it blows up.
I'd rather it didn't blow up a USB port.
That's true. It might take out a USB. Well, the USB port will have its own protection anyway. So, yeah. Current sensing. Oh, wouldn't have thought so. They're not going to current sense that. Or if they do, they'll do that within the keyboard. So these guys, again, those are just going to be filters. So those... and we've also got more varistas on... Oh, yeah, VAR 203, VAR 202. More varistas between the data lines and ground as well. So, and those are resistors. Are you sure? R202, L, and R201. What's that talking about? Those have got to be filter inductors, right? Why not keep the board and solder the connector in place of the micro USB socket? Because the Type C connector has got 18 pins on it. That's why I'm trying to avoid that. And if we don't solder those 18 pins properly, it won't be reversible and things like that, which kind of defies the point. Could be 0 ohms. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think they're inductors. I think they're filter inductors. I'll do a quick resistance check on them. Although if they're inductors, they'll come up at 0 ohms, won't they? Hang on a sec. I'm going to pull out for a moment while I do some checks on that. Bam, bam. Yeah, they're 0 ohm. So they're almost certainly inductors, I think. Check ohms. Yeah, they're coming up at like half an ohm. They're coming up at half an ohm, which to me suggests that they are inductors. So they're just filtering, is what I think. So I don't think any of this stuff is actually necessary for the keyboard to function. And I reckon we could just drop in. So again, let me just switch back to a suitable connector. So let's minimize this a sec so we get that and go back to desktop capture. I reckon we could swap out this entire board for one of these. And then we just solder our USB, the board wires onto there. And that's it. Done. That's what I think. PCV says R. So it should be correct. Yeah. I mean, in that case, there's 0 ohm resistors. So yeah, maybe there's 0 ohm resistors which are functioning as poor man's fuses. Type C on PC board only has 6 pads to connect. Yeah, you got to join it all up at some point, though. Otherwise, it won't be reversible and stuff like that. Yeah. I reckon we could drop all of that. Yeah. Oh, Vladimir says it's probably a reusable layout for many things. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at, obviously, the silk screening on the back, it doesn't specifically mention WASD or code.
Yeah.
So it could just be a purchasing component.
Yeah, just a So this, yeah. So the suggestion is that this is just a universal commodity. Hang on a minute. Where's my mouse pointer? Bench cam. There we go. So that just says micro USB kind of thing. Like this could just be a commodity USB input keyboard. Sorry, this could be a commodity USB input board for things, and it's so yeah. Try searching for an OC protected USB Type C port. Yeah, is that a thing that exists, or are we speculating? Let me switch back to eBay. Desktop. Because like one of these would be wonderfully simple. Let's come out of that. Let's see. Type C board. Overcurrent. Oh, here we go. DIY 24-pin 3.1. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't think that's got anything extra on it. What's that? That's different design. That's got stuff on it. What's actually on the action side of that? That's the biggest picture. That's very annoying. I really hate it when you can't see bigger pictures. Open image in new tab? Nope, that's as big as it gets. That's got a capacitor on it, and it's got the I seem to remember one of these resistors just sets it to host or device mode. So that resistor is probably host device selection.
I think it's a 57K
yeah.
memory.
Where's
the spudger go?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, we've got a capacitor, which gives us some capacitor, but yeah, overcurrent protection, no. So, right, what about over... Yeah, let's go back. That's a male connector, was it? Or was it socket? Yeah, Type-C connector, socket. Oh, yeah, I'm with you there. That's got a big old breakout board on it. See, one of these, we've got room for one of these big old breakout boards, which might be handy, because we could attach additional things to that.
Interesting.
See, this gives us access to all the pins, so we can stick on mods to make it do what we want. So if we want to stick in, a couple of those variable resistors, we could use both boards. Yeah. What are you interested in? Oh yeah. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute.
That socketed, actually socketed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have a look at that in a sec. See, we've got space for that. I'm inclined to get something like this, because but then that's going to be a lot. That's going to require more mod wires to actually hook up. That might work against us because we'll have to wire in all of our mod wires manually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Hang on a minute. I want to make sure that this is. See, that says socket. That doesn't look like a socket. Yeah, that's a socket because it's got the center spade. Are these keyboards a thing? You could design a PCB and sell it as an upgrade. I wouldn't want. I don't know enough. I'm an idiot figuring this out as I go. So I don't know enough to be able to make such an upgrade kit. I mean, as I say, really, you just buy something newer that already has Type-C on it. We're just doing this as a sort of a... This is an interest thing, really. It's just a case of we're looking at this going, how hard is it to convert micro B stuff to Type-C stuff? That's the question. Because that's the... Like, if we buy this and it goes well, we'll make a video about it, you see. And we can be like, here's how you can convert micro B stuff to Type C stuff in a reasonably elegant manner.
The other thing that would be good to do as well is to modify one of the Logitech unifying receivers
Yeah.
and make a Type C one of them.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be real difficult though, because I think those have a lot of stuff built inside the Type A connector. So I think that would actually be quite difficult to do in any kind of nice way. So yeah, you could make a PCB. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I kind of want to use commodity parts if I can. I appreciate the offer.
I'm pretty sure that you could just use
That's just it. I think that's going to be good enough.
and then just obviously take the wires off of that.
Yeah, I think it's that simple personally. And if we wanted to, we could stick those variable resistors in across, the data lines and ground and voltage and ground, and just mod wire those in. DIY Perks, yeah, DIY Perks has done stuff like this before, and he did something very similar to this. And yeah, he was doing that with adapters as well.
I'd like to modify a Unify receiver just for obviously for like mobile phones
that's
and stuff.
interesting.
And
So
obviously because of my screen, because the screen I've got.
that's a very interesting premise. Yeah. So I thought just to explain what Caradog's talking about here. Let me switch back to the bench.
I'll just grab the screen.
This is a. Oh, let's focus out a bit. Focus. Focus, you fuck. There we go. This is a Logitech unifying receiver for the Logitech unifying keyboards and mice. As you can see, it's got a Type A connector on it. Caradog was just talking about how you converting one of these to Type C. But the difficulty is, this thing has got components like there on the board. Whoops, I'm off shot. This thing has got components like there on site on the circuit board itself. Like you can see the clock crystal sticks way out. Like, so it'd be a question on how much work would it take to bodge a Type C connector onto this. And the reason why that might be interesting is because then you could plug it into the bottom of a mobile phone like this Samsung and use a Logitech unifying mouse and keyboard on the phone without a cable sticking out the bottom. And also, Caradog has also got this mobile display, which looks like this. Caradog has also got this rad mobile monitor. This is so this is a 15-inch mobile screen that just sits back on a flap out stand, and this is fully Type C. This thing, so it's got Type C connector on that side, and on that side, and mini HDMI, and you can power this thing from Type C, and it can receive its display from Type C. So if you had a Type C, if you could plug this into this Type C connector somehow, when you plug this into your phone, you've also connected a Logitech unifying receiver to the phone. So that would be really cool to be able to modify this as well. But I think that's going to be significantly more work, is the problem there. So, yeah. Rick Lakes with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Hello, hello. So, yeah, and just for anyone who's interested in seeing this in action, yeah. I don't know if you need to sanitize that.
There you go.
But, yes. So, yeah, it's on low brightness at the moment. But, yeah, so you literally get a desktop layout on your thing. So, it's super cool. So, obviously, being able to connect that up would be kind of useful. Good luck without driver support. It'll work natively because the unifying receiver appears as just a keyboard and mouse.
And Android has had full HID support for keyboard and mice since
Long way back. Yeah.
Since Honeycomb?
Yeah. You can just plug a mouse into your phone and it'll just work if you've got an OTG cable.
Yeah.
The thing
I've
is,
I've done it for ages.
The trick is just trying to find something that doesn't involve having adapter cables and dongles sticking out of your devices, which is what we don't want. So yeah.
Yeah, that was the only reason for considering doing it. It was just because obviously it removed dongles and stuff.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, adapters for dongles.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just a case of because you can.
Pretty much. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get the board we're looking at, and I don't think any of that supporting circuitry is mission critical. So I think that's what we would do. So we'll go with that for now. That answers that question. The next thing we wanted to do is this thing has got what might be a blown LED on it. We just want to test that as well while we're doing this. DIY perks made one. Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch that DIY perks video to get some more ideas for that, and just because I seem to remember his solution, it worked, but I seem to remember looking at it going, that's not very small, it's not very elegant. It would be interesting if there's a more elegant way of doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got this. What's on this board? Is that just...
That's the actual micro for the keyboard.
Oh yeah, it's got a Holtec on it.
That's the actual controller.
Interesting. So yeah, the actual controller is on this separate board that is just dip-socketed into the keyboard. That's very cool for upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how that fits back in. I think it might.
So also, in theory, means that you can just swap out the controller to anyone you want.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
That would be very good because you could. You can program that to different layouts, so it means that they can produce the backboard, program these, and just click in the correct one for the region.
Yeah, and
So,
also
yeah.
obviously because you've got dip switches on
Yeah.
the back, you could swap one of those Dvorak layouts,
Yeah.
say the Dvorak layout, to be an ISO layout. So then you can just dip switch to ISO, and swap your keys.
Yeah.
So that's quite
Are
interesting.
there no Type C to Type A adapters? Oh yeah, adapters exist. We just don't want to use adapters because adapters suck. That's the thing. None of this is critical. This is all just we're investigating as a, can this be done? What would it look like kind of thing.
Yeah,
Is
and
this-
also it's
Yeah.
just a case of it means that you don't have to have an adapter.
Yeah.
You can't forget or lose it because it's soldered in.
Yeah, exactly that. Right, let's see. What was it? Caps lock,
Yeah.
which is the middle. Caps
Yeah.
lock is in the middle, isn't it? Yeah. So, tell you what, I'm gonna
Do you want me to just hold it?
turn that around. Ow, I'm getting spiked. If you could hold it up and tell me if it. Let's go with a known good first. Is that on?
No.
Okay, let me put it the other way around. I can never remember which way around you need to do this. Also, I can't see what the polarity of the LEDs are anyway. How about that?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Right, so can we tilt that toward the camera just so... Let's see. So what we're doing, we want to know... the caps lock LED on this keyboard doesn't seem to work, so we're checking if the LED has failed or not. So I'll just get the focus in. 2, 3, 4, 5. I should do it. So I've put my multimeter into diode mode, and in diode mode, if you go onto the contacts of the LED, you can light up the LED, so we can see that the LED works. So the caps lock LED does work.
Yeah.
So it is indeed a software problem you've got, or the failure is somewhere else in the keyboard. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's not a blown LED. So yeah, because that would have been, because you mentioned you've got the same problem with both of your code keyboards.
Yeah.
And that confirms that it's not just a weirdly just that specific LED has failed on both keyboards. There's something else going on with that. So yeah. I have no idea what that problem might be in that case. So why wouldn't the caps lock light work?
Yeah. But num and scroll do.
Yeah. Num lock and scroll lock work, just the caps lock key doesn't work. I wonder if it's just a software issue where just oh, that pushes down a lot further than I thought. I wonder if it's just a software issue where because obviously Windows reports back to the keyboard if the keyboard doesn't know what numlock and caps lock status is. Windows receives the turn on numlock keyboard. Windows receives the caps lock keystroke and then sends a signal back to the keyboard saying caps lock is on. So if the keyboard is not getting that signal back, then the caps lock key will not illuminate. So that might be why we're not getting caps lock, because of a weird driver issue. Although I'm not sure how you would get a driver issue on a heckin' keyboard, but I'm speculating here.
Yeah.
What's up, Daniel? How's it going?
Certainly through 1,000,000,001 Windows installs.
Yeah, that's true. We should probably just plug it into another computer in here and just see if you get the same issue. You have tried it on just another computer, right?
Oh yeah, it's been an issue since I got the keyboards.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Basically.
It's never worked.
No, it did,
Yeah.
and then now it doesn't,
Huh.
as far as I'm aware.
Odd.
So yeah, I got these keyboards 4 years ago?
Yeah, you've had these for quite a while, I seem to
5
remember.
years ago?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Because at the time, they were heckin' expensive, and we were just like, what are you doing? Whereas these days, it's like, well, yeah, of course they'll sell you a keyboard that expensive, so that legitimizes the price. But yeah, all right. I'm going to brush down. Can you see my paint? There's my paintbrush. We'll put this thing back together for now, because there's nothing more we can do with it today, I don't think.
No, absolutely.
However, yeah, I vote we buy that adapter, and I vote we use that, because I think we'll just solder. I think we're just going to solder these 4 wires onto that Type-C adapter.
The only concern I have is how is it going to get mounted?
Yeah, that's a good point. How are we going to mount that one? I suppose we'll have a look at. Let's see if. Hang on a minute before we actually reassemble this. So let's talk mounting. So that and that was in there like that. So this is the board we're replacing. Focus. 1, 2, 1. There we go. There are adapters, but you're not learning anything if you're not investigating alternatives. Yes, precisely that. Precisely that. An adapter is missing the point of what we're doing here. So yeah. Right, so let's go back. So we want to replace this board. So the issue is, if we go back to desktop, so this thing is nice and neat. This is ideal because we can just solder our 4 USB 2 wires onto those pads there, and we're basically done. But it's a question of, how do we mount this? We don't really want to just hot snot it in, because that's clearly going to fatigue over time. Hot snot is not a secure mount. So that's going to come out. So what other designs? So this is a lot nicer because it's a bigger board with some screw holes on it. Although those screw holes probably aren't going to be graceful enough to line up with anything we already have. But also, this is a lot trickier to configure, because we're going to have to put in a load of jumper wires to line all those pins up. We want an adapter that's just a bit bigger, basically. There's also something like this. This looks tasty. See, something like this is also easier, and it's in a bigger board with some screw lugs on it. So that could be usable. That's also got some support on it. Oh, thanks. Oh, I hate websites that do this. So I'm like, okay, I want to zoom in on this picture. So hang on a sec. Let me just remove our faces for a sec. So I want to zoom in on this. So I zoom with my mouse, and it just auto resizes the picture. That's not helpful, eBay. This is not helpful. Now I can't zoom back out. Hang on a sec. Reset. There we go. Right, bring back our faces. There we go. So that is something. Come out of that. I like the look of that. And it's got some configuration resistors on it, so we can fiddle with those. What else? Is that? I don't like that one. I'm closing that one. What else exists? Those are the same things. There's another breakout. What does that look like? Again, very bad pictures. But we've got something here. Epoxy glue is solid. Yeah, we could just epoxy it down. That's probably good enough.
You'd probably want a circuit board on that, though, just so you can get enough surface area.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're epoxying the connector, and I feel like that would rip.
Yeah. Something like this might be good, because that is big enough to actually epoxy. Like, the problem is we've got screw holes on that, but they're not going to line up with anything that exists in the case. But on the other hand, those screw holes, obviously, if you put this on the board and you fill those up with epoxy, that provides a really big anchor point for the epoxy to grab hold of. Can't you make a new hole? Yeah, we could. We could just drill a small hole in the bottom of it and bolt through. That's not off the table either. That's entirely possible. I think we'd actually have to order one of these boards in to see where it lines up. But
that's ultimately what we need, though, is a case of actually having the board in hand.
Yeah.
To then mock it up.
I do like the look of this one.
Yeah.
What's this pin out, though? We've got...
I don't see, though, what this offers over... Was it that one?
Yeah.
I don't see what it particularly offers over that.
Just more board space, basically. More stuff to glue down. Something bigger that has more, something we can secure better.
The other thing you could do is you put that in there.
Hang on a sec, switching back to bench cam. Yeah.
You just put the board in there, and then you epoxy or something like a washer or something behind it.
Yeah. So
and then
it's got something to press up against.
And then it pushes into that washer.
Yeah.
And that provides the surface area.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hell, failing that, we could solder it in and then conformal coat it with epoxy, where we literally just...
Yeah, basically.
Like, I mean, if it works, it's never going to come out again.
Yeah, basically.
So that's actually entirely a valid option, isn't it?
The only thing you'd need to do is have, like, a little bit of card or something around it just so it flowed underneath.
Yeah.
Instead of going like that.
Yeah.
Just to force it underneath, and then you could make it like a little bit of...
Yeah. Do you think drilling the board may short it out? Oh, we wouldn't drill holes through the board. That's why I'm looking at boards that already have holes in. We're talking about drilling a hole through this plastic.
Just through this plastic.
So, yeah. And then we basically we have a screw coming through the bottom of the casing through the board, and we put a little nut on top to secure it in place. However, I think just putting in desktop, there we go. I think just putting one of these in and literally just drowning the whole thing in epoxy would probably be good enough for America. Or Australia, at least. No 3D print options. How does that help, though? 3D print what? That's the thing. Do a saw and hot glue everything. Yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking, to be honest.
So
I don't think hot glue will last, but I think epoxy would.
So there was that plastic peel over a sticker.
Huh. Plastic peel for a sticker. Oh, fair enough. Oh, that's just showing you which way up the cable goes.
But
sure.
Yeah. What?
That's rather unnecessary, but okay.
That is super unnecessary.
Today on list of things that don't need a peel, this little sticker that tells you which way up the cable plugs in had some cellophane peel on it. That peel just got removed.
Because I didn't even know it was there, and I was just like, what?
Odd. Very well. Yeah, okay. Well, I think we've got our answer. That's the wrong one. Hi. That's the wrong one. There we go. There's the right scene.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, solution. Buy a new one. No! You need USB-C data-capable connector.
Why would that not be data-capable when it's got a D- and a D+?
I was going to say, this one is data-capable. It's just only data-capable at USB 2. But that's all we need because it's a keyboard.
It's a USB 2 keyboard.
Yeah. We don't... again, just for those of you who didn't spot it...
Boff!
What we're suggesting is... so we're suggesting this as a replacement for this. So notice we've got 4 USB cables coming in. We've got plus D, we've got 5 volts, D minus, D plus, and ground. And those are going to go directly onto those pads there. So that guy is a direct replacement for what we've got. So yeah, I think we should just order that, and I think we're just going to epoxy the thing in.
Yeah, basically. I also just noticed that there's a recess there.
Yeah, that little divot will be perfect, I think.
Which actually might be helpful.
And
so that's interesting.
the only other thing that we've got to watch out for that might be a trap for us players is just if the physical hole is big enough. But if it's not big enough, we just get the Dremel with a drill bit in and we just mill that out ever so slightly.
I was going to say, the Dremel will be the solution.
Yeah, I was going to say that'll answer to a Dremel. So yeah. They're cheap. Order one of each and use which fits best. I think that's a reasonable idea as well.
That was
Yeah.
possibly my suggestion.
Desktop.
Hold on, wasn't there a pack of 6 of them somewhere?
I think so.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah,
there.
it's from China, so it's going to take a couple of weeks to arrive. But if we're not in a hurry on this one, are we?
No.
Yeah.
Also, it says it's USB 3.1 supposedly, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. What's on the other side of that?
Oh, that is less helpful to us.
Yeah. What's going on with? Yeah, that one. What are they doing? Is that power only? What's the deal with this one? Oh, so have they got anything?
Oh,
there we go. That side shows pins. 6 pins.
which is USB 3 data, isn't it? Isn't it 6 pins for USB 3 data plus 2 power?
I can't remember. But
Is that
then
it?
I can't figure out what I'm looking at here. Because look, that's one side. We've got a capacitor and a resistor. Then that's the other side. So then what the hell was that one we just saw that had the extra breakouts on it?
Oh, hold on, go back. Go back to the actual listing.
Oh, yeah, hang on a sec.
Because there was a drop-down box on the listing.
Yeah, they got multiple types there, haven't
I
they?
think... Wasn't there?
No, they.
Oh, no.
There's no
I thought
drop-down.
one...
So where was the one that had the breakouts on it? There.
Yeah. Wait, what? I'm so confused now.
Yeah. There seem to be 2 different products in these pictures. Oh, one. Oh, yeah. Also, it's male or female.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Oh, that's not confusing at all. Good lord. That listing was not as clear as it could have been.
No. Okay, I'm going back. Get me out of here. Right.
Yeah. No, just those ones. The ones we've already found. It's fine. It's fine. We're done.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's these breakouts for development and stuff like that really handy. So yeah. Quick charge module. That's very cute.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just as a side thing, that's kind of interesting that such a thing exists.
I want one of them.
That's quick charge 3, quick charge 2, power delivery 3, apparently. What's the spec on that? I'm kind of interested. Zoom.
Also apparently supports the Huawei fast charging.
I hate the fact that there's a separate scroll window for the thing. Blah, 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 blah. Support fast charge, DCP, Huawei fast charge. What's the output?
Output power up to 20 watts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, 9 volt. It does 12 volt, 2 amps. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
ETC. What does ETC mean? What do you mean, etc.? Does it do
means
15
etc.
volts?
ETC means etc.
Yes, but like, can it do? Our output automatically adjusts between 3 and 12. So yeah, it's not etc. It's just that. Those are the settings: 5, 9, and 12. So yeah.
Oh no! Apparently it goes down to 3 volt because obviously USB charging at 3 volt is a thing.
Oh yeah. Still, that's a very cute little like.
Sorry, hold on. Scroll down.
Oh.
Keep going. Keep going. Allow a 1 centimeter error due to manual measurement.
Yeah.
A 1 centimeter error on a 0.32 millimeter device. Excuse me?
Well, it probably means that, I mean, this board might come in various shapes and sizes. Still, that's a really cute little module that you could stick that on your bench power supply and just instantly have quick charge output. That's just one of those, like, that's kind of interesting, yeah. But yes. Look up power delivery voltages. Yeah, I'd say up to 12 volts. So it's a shame it doesn't have 15 on it, but come on, it's a tiny little controller.
I'd be interested to see if there is one of those that does the 15 volt power delivery.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Although 15 volt power delivery is getting fairly specific. I don't think any phones use 15 volts, do they?
Not sure, but like the pine saw and
the soldering iron,
and laptops and stuff.
Yeah, the problem is though, its output is 20 watts. Although,
oh yeah, no, I don't mean a 20 watt one.
Yeah,
I mean a much higher rated one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there'll be bigger ones out there.
Yeah,
this is just really small
wondering
and
if you
cute,
can
which
get,
is why I found it interesting.
Just the breakout boards at like 40 watts or something. Because that'd be interesting.
I'm very interested that they've got that power delivery compliance with an 8-pin chip. You know. Compliant. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just, I kind of want one.
15 volts for laptops. Citation needed. Most of the ones I've seen are 20. Yeah, but still interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just a side thing that I just saw out the corner of my. Like. There's loads of cool stuff.
Also, be interested in that, but the other way round.
Mm.
So it actually had a Type C male on it, so you could just plug the board into the bottom of your device.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be fun to make. To have one, you can get the like backwards connectors effectively with the long legs, so you could just slot it in like that and have the board sit here.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, this one's an interesting auction because it comes with a plug and a socket, so that's interesting for if you're developing widgets
and doodads and
type
thingy-majiggies.
this in AliExpress. Yeah, I mean, we'll see whether we're getting from like. The thing is, I've no doubt we could probably jump on AliExpress and buy 100 of these for £5, and wait 3 weeks and then have 100 of them that I don't need, or we could pay £3 and have one on Tuesday. For the amount we're paying for this, I'm not super fussed.
It depends on the volume.
Exactly. This is a one-off, So yeah. If I was doing this en masse, obviously, yeah, I'd absolutely be on AliExpress and looking up 100 pieces worth. There we go. There's a fully reverse connector. Well, almost anyway.
That's the Nintendo Switch one, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's for the console board. Yeah. Yeah. We're getting sidetracked here. What's that? That's an interesting one. I think we should just get the first one we saw, quite frankly.
Probably.
10 pieces, £3.40 from China. Is that correct? Yeah.
That looks like it's the same one.
That's the same one.
It's just the China listing.
Yeah, we get 10 of for £3.41. So, yeah. Hypothetically, how much is AliExpress then? AliExpress. Like I said, I know AliExpress is cheaper, but it's also considerably more hassle and considerably slower sometimes. So, yeah. What are we calling that? A Type C?
USB Type C connector 14 pin. That's what that one says. Or that one just says USB Type C breakout board.
14 pin. What does that do? What does that get us? Can we find the same thing? So here's raw connectors, which we're not going for because we don't want to solder an 18-pin connector. Because we could get a board that's pre-soldered. There we go. 10 pieces. £2.23 plus £1 delivery. So £3.23. So yeah, we could save ourselves 20p on AliExpress. Or I could just hit buy it now on eBay. Which is what I'm going to do. So, yeah. Where was the 10 pieces one? I've lost it. It's over there. There it is. Yeah. So, there you go. Make sure it's female. Yeah, that's got the spade in it. So, that's definitely the female connector. So, yes. There we go. Oh, Danny, I see you are actually specifying another module thing. Yes. Yes, that's fine. I'll quickly smash that in just because we were looking at those modules and that was kind of interesting. What does that look like? Just out of interest?
I'm just looking at the end of the USB-C lead and seeing if there was any way you could conflate a USB-C lead to the pictures.
Wow, that looks super cool.
Wait, what?
That's 20 volts, man.
Ooh, I want one.
Yeah, that's what we look at that. No way. How much? What's the output of that? It does 20 volts. What's the wattage output on that? No way that does any kind of real... Can withstand the current capacity of 20 volts and 5 amps. The working power can reach 100 watts.
Yes, it can reach 100 watts.
100 watts?
However, you have a delta fan mounted to the top. You require a blowimatron.
Yeah. 100 watts out of that? You're joking.
Also, that sounds like you're trying to say Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. I'm not Tony Stark. It triggers just power delivery. Yeah. Bullshit, you can get 100 watts out of that. I'm sure it probably has the
I'll
specifications
test
to
it
do
with a
it, but-
pine saw.
Yeah. Oh, man. That'd be actually Actually, we're ordering from China anyway. Should we order one? Should we do an AliExpress order? Put one of those in it and actually rig that up on the pine saw and blow it up.
Get a couple of them.
Yeah, because they're 80 pence each.
Because also I actually want one.
Yeah. Right, Danny sold.
Although that says decoy module. I'm not sure what a decoy module is.
Decoy module. What is this? What are we looking at? Hang on a sec. We could actually just read the thing. Common problem. How much current does it support? How much power does it support? No, this is straight through. The PD decoy is straight through. The output power is mostly in the current. This has nothing to do with this device, but only with the output capacity of your charging head.
It is just a power delivery. It effectively fakes power delivery support for an output. So you plumb in a 5-volt output or something.
Yeah.
And it says, this is a power delivery output.
Okay, so if I hooked that up to my bench power supply...
You'd in theory then get PD support for this. It would then negotiate the power delivery.
Ah, yes. But do I have to set the voltage on my power supply to be what I want it to give?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are fixed voltage, says localhost.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how.
Yeah.
That's why it can be so small and support so much current, because there's no actual...
Like it says, it's pass-through.
Yeah.
It's not actually handling the current, it's just negotiating the data connection.
Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting, because part of me wants to get that and power my pine saw from my pine saw over its USB-C port from my bench power supply, because who will stop me?
Yes.
Not because that's useful in any capacity, but because it's really, really,
hey,
really
you
funny.
take it a stage further, and you get a couple of those low dropout regulators and an XT60 connector.
Oh, no. Wait, no, it can't negotiate the voltage, though.
Yeah, but that's why you're using the low dropout regulators, to set the voltage.
Yeah. Yeah. What, plug it into like a 5-cell or something like that? Yeah. No. Just, There's ways of doing that. Although the problem is, I've got a gadget that would be perfect for that, but it doesn't do power delivery. You know those KQC things that do quick charge?
Yeah.
It's a shame that doesn't support power delivery.
Yeah.
There's probably
it
a
also
version
only
of that.
does like quick charge 2.
Yeah. There's
It only
probably a
does
version of that that does
What's
do
that? This one.
that one.
Is that a charger?
What is that?
Oh, it's just a charger
No.
balance protection board
Yeah.
thing. Fine. I thought that was a 3 or 4 cell
Yeah.
2 type C,
Yeah.
because it was related to this item.
Hang on a minute. I'm just gonna let's see. XT60 PD. XT60 to power delivery output. Does such a thing exist? I need to. No, it needs more. Oh, did I just spot it? What are you?
No, it's a lipo.
Oh no, that's actually a lipo. Yeah. We're on a complete tangent here, by the way, people. We're literally just this is now just us just browsing stuff on AliExpress that looks interesting. Power delivery charger? No.
Put in XT60 to USB.
XT60 to USB power delivery. Power deliver. Whoops. Power delivery.
Oh, there's the literal.
Yeah, there's the old one. So I've got one of these. This is kind of cool. You plug in.
Yeah.
You plug XT60 in the back from your LiPo cell, and it gives you quick charge out the other side.
Although this is the newer one because it does 12 volt.
Yeah, I want this, but with power delivery on it, basically. That would be cool. Would you trust TPMs off websites like AliExpress? Yeah, sure. However, as per the start of this stream, we won't go through it all over again. I don't think you'll need one.
Especially as FTPM is a thing.
Yeah, especially as FTPM is a thing. So, yeah. Don't quote me. However, my prediction is I don't think you'll need one. Ooh, what's that? That looks fun. Oh, that's basically the same thing, just without a case. Also with Dean's, if you're an idiot. Looking at you, Caradog. I don't know. I'm rapidly losing interest in this. I think we should order these USB connectors. Do you want anything from AliExpress, or are we just going to buy it from eBay?
Nah, we'll just grab it from eBay.
Yeah, I'm just going to hit... Yeah, let's just eBay it. Which one are we going for? Where was that?
One.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yep, because that gives us 10 of them. 10 of them for £3.41. Buy now.
So it can go very wrong.
Yeah. Wrong one. Okay, right, and pay now. Log in. Right, and HDMI.
Hello.
There we go. Right, that's that. You'd probably be browsing AliExpress anyway. Yeah, I've got to tear myself away because I could spend hours just looking through all of the stuff on AliExpress.
The problem is when I want to do that, when I want to look through the stuff and see if there are cool bits that I want, I can never think of the words. I can never come up with words to search for to find stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want a toothbrush?
Nah, it's fine. It's basically done now. Eh. Unless you want to detail that anymore. But,
Can I offer you an egg in this trying time?
Yeah. Let's see. What do you think about LGA 1151 mutant CPUs?
They're basically like engineering samples.
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah. Yeah. Linus Tech Tips have done a video on this that sums them up pretty well. They're pretty hit and miss. They're interesting. And they're kind of, you can look at them and be like, that's kind of interesting. You might be able to build something really cheap with it, but I don't think they're worth the trouble. Because it's basically a roll of the dice as to whether you'll get something that is usable as a daily driver, as it were, or usable in any kind of because if you end up with something where you've got to have a stack of books holding it down into the board and stuff like that, it's just like, yeah, it works, but it's not something you can just slap in and use. I don't think it's not something I would recommend. Like if you're curious and you want to tinker with something, then you could buy one and be like, hey, this is kind of cool. I got an i7 for 40 quid. But I don't think that it's something you'd actually want to have I don't think it's something you'd actually want to use as a built computer. So yeah.
Yeah. Although there were some
It literally said mail. The picture had the spade in it. Hang on a minute. Check out. Let's just roll back. That's a female connector. It's got the spade in it. I think it's because people get confused between male and female. A cable will plug into that because it's got the spade in the middle of it. Don't trust pics. I only trust pics. Because if the picture is wrong, then it's missold. That's how I do it. I always go by what the picture is.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm concerned, the picture is what you're selling. And if it shows up and it's not what the picture is, I'll sell it. I'll send it back and I'll say that's not what the picture said it was. Because yeah, I know that's what they're saying it is. It says male there. However, the picture is what I say. That picture, that's what I'm expecting to arrive in the post. If that doesn't arrive in the post, I'll get my money back and I'll say that's not what you said it was.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah. Your Pine 64 your Pine Power desktop arrived on Thursday. Do I have a discount link to Pine? I don't. I need to talk to the Pine guy and say, hey, can we do something? But I keep forgetting to. But yeah, the Pine desktop is really cool. I use mine every day. I've got it plugged in over on the other bench. It's a really cool bit of kit.
They also do a gallium nitride.
Oh, I've just realised. Hang on a sec. Sorry, I've just realised that when I was ranting, then I didn't actually have the thing up. Display capture. There we go. Yeah, when I was saying this is what we're buying. Here's the picture again, just for posterity. As you can see, it's got the spade in the middle. The picture is of the correct connector. However, it's incredibly debatable because you could call that male because it has a bit in the middle, which is male. However, a cable will fit inside of that connector, which makes it the female connector. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, what were you about to say?
Yes.
Yes. Fair enough.
So, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Indubitably.
Let's carry on. Do you want to do anything else with this before we reassemble it?
I just
Nope.
want to reassemble it.
Yep, we're putting it back together again. Good. All right. Let's see. Why is Caradog so low down? Because I don't have a single good chair in this entire shop. I bought new stools. You guys remember the stool buying? They have lasted about 6 months, and now they've begun to squeak. So yeah, there's that. There we go. Let's see. Quick question. Acer Swift 3 laptop, HDMI cable connected, machine shut off. It's dead, Jim. Reset the battery using the hole on the bottom of the laptop and it charges. Power button push, nothing. The Acer Swift 3.
What does holding the power button for a while do? Does it give you any warning?
Yeah.
Does it give you any flashing lights saying that there's an error or anything like that? Because sometimes you have to hold it down for like 30 or 40 seconds for it to do like an SMC reset.
I'm just going to grab something because I want to check if it's what I think it is.
Oh, that very much just rests.
If it's a Swift... this one says it's an E3, but... this one's an Aspire, but... no, is it one of these? Ignore the fact that this doesn't have a panel in it, but is it something like this you've got? That's an Aspire, but that shaped chassis? Is it one of them? Because I've got like a pile of these that all have just a phantom death, where they just don't do anything. No short circuits, just dead motherboard, just stone dead. I've had like half a dozen of them that are in my breaker pile that have just come in from customers where it's just dead. And yeah, never got to the bottom of it. It seems to be that they're just, yeah. I have a suspicion it's the same thing on with the Swift and the Aspire. It's just the same laptop under a different branding, and they're just crap. They're just crap. That's the only conclusion I've managed to come to.
These are vicious clips. Heavens.
I found some more.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I wasn't joking. Yeah, that's an Aspire V11. That's touch, but again, same chassis. The first one I showed was an Aspire E3, which is a non-touch, but same chassis. This one is... this one's also Aspire. This one's a V5 touch. That one's got an A4 in it, so yeah. But again, just, yeah, phantom death. So yeah, basically these... Yeah, and that one's got a slightly different chassis. If I show you the shape on the side of that, you can see the blue one is a slightly different shape. But again, they're all based on the same platform, I think. And again, they just seem to be a bit crap. That's all I've been able to determine, I'm afraid. And that's just 3 of them. I'm pretty certain I've got another 3 of them in another pile somewhere. Ugh.
No, there's literally nothing left in there.
Nick Smith ordered a pine sol standard delivery, should be here by 2023. Yeah.
Have you got
What are you after?
I don't know, some Captain tape or something?
Yes.
Just so I can tape this, so it doesn't
right,
get lost. Yeah. Because obviously the standoff is broke.
Standoff is kill. Yeah. Where is my Captain tape? It is. Where is my Oh, there it is. How are we doing for time? Oh god, it's 20 past. Have we? Yeah, we're at 2.5 hours. Yeah, I think we'll start wrapping up in a minute. We'll go through the chat again in a sec, and then I think we'll wrap up because we've done our objectives. That's horrible.
Why?
I don't know.
It's all game they get pulled apart next week.
That's true.
Or the week after.
There we go. It lives there now.
So that's better.
True that.
As long as it doesn't interfere.
True that. Ugh. I need to watch more electronics. Someone would have fixed that in an hour. It wasn't our objective to fix it. So, yeah. Right. Let's see. When am I doing a PSU, a reparation on old PSUs? I probably won't, because power supplies are harder than they look. And I don't know enough electronics engineering to diagnose power supplies. Everyone always says, oh, it's the capacitors, it's the capacitors. I've taken apart 3 dead power supplies, and it's not the capacitors on any of them. Because every now and then I try and start a video to talk about dead power supplies, and I go, maybe it's the capacitor. It's not always the capacitors, basically. Oh, for the Acer. Yeah. The thing is, Mr. Guru, is it's got an A4 in it. It's a dual-core A4 that probably boosts to 1.2 gigahertz. Who cares, basically? You know, it's yeah. Just, that's the problem.
Yeah. But it kind of leads back into me saying about the minimum specification for OEMs on Windows 11 wasn't high enough.
Yeah.
Because it still allows for machines where you're like, I don't care about fixing it.
Yeah.
It's not worth fixing.
Exactly that. Like, and it sounds heartless, and it sounds cruel, and it sounds arrogant to say it, but that's the fact. You know, like,
because the cost to repair on that is going to be £100.
Yeah.
Maybe £150.
That's right.
Even if you're charging reasonably cheap for board repair.
Yeah.
Or buying a brand new one, it's £200.
Yeah, like your board repair cost should not be less than £80, and I'm in a rural area, so it's low around here. So it's a case of, okay, well, you know, we're going to charge 80 quid to fix a netbook, and if you can do it in an hour as well, if you're good enough to be able to fix it in an hour, you should be fixing much more expensive things like MacBook Pros, where you can charge £200, £300 for the repair, and it still be economical. Yeah. And you could be making 2 or 3 times the amount of money. You know, it doesn't make sense to fix them. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's just e-waste. That's the problem. And, you know, as I say, you're absolutely right. I'm sure there's people out there that can fix them in an hour, and power to them. You know, I absolutely agree. You know, it's a great display of talent, but it's also a case of there are easier ways to make money.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, you know, like at the end of the day, I'm in business to make money. I'm in business to earn money and pay my bills. So I want to do what is the most efficient way to earn money. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do I still have them? I still have them because I'm awful and I hoard dead things.
But also a case
I'm a terrible person. That's why I've got them.
It's also a case of when someone comes in and says, "Oh, I've got this dead thing. Will you take it?" You say yes.
Yeah.
Because adding a single extra laptop to a pile of stuff you're already e-wasting makes no difference.
Yeah.
And 1 out of 10 times you'll find something that's at least interesting.
Yeah.
You'll kind of go,
that's exactly
that's
it.
Interesting.
When people come in with dead stuff, or when I'm binning dead stuff, you know, I always say yes, because while most of the time they'll come in with a box of just trash, and you'll be like, well, that was a mistake. Now I've got to get rid of this. But also every now and then when they come in with something that's actually worth keeping. I got a MacBook Air over there that someone gave me the other day. They said, "Oh, do you take old laptops?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." They brought it in. It's a 2012 MacBook Air. It's got the MagSafe 1 connector on it, so it's a really old one. However, perfectly functional MacBook Air, which I'm now using as a data recovery machine. So, you know,
it was what?
It's just old. That's the only thing that's wrong with it. It's just old. But yeah,
that's mad.
That's just it. They've bought new MacBooks and they're getting rid of that one. So yeah, free MacBook Air. And yeah, as I say, it is an old model. I think it probably doesn't run anything higher than High Sierra, and it's got 4 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Which means it's a bad user experience. Yeah,
it's a case that
still. I will
free.
call you back in a moment.
Yeah.
Because we'll be finishing up soon. So yeah, boards are very useful for parts. Yeah, that's just it. And I've got them out the back maybe. So yeah, we'll
but yes, at some point, I'm sure I'll force Graham to actually e-waste some stuff.
Yes.
And suddenly free up half a shop again.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to e-waste a lot of stuff anyway, just because all the trash from the old shop is coming in here now, which I didn't want to do, but because of complicated reasons that I won't go into now, I need to do. So, yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think that is us.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here because we're kind of done. We can get into more stuff, but I don't want to run late. I'm hungry and my sister is calling me going, have you got your COVID jab yet? And I'm going to be like, no, but I'm working on it. And by I'm working on it, I mean I haven't done any work on it. But apparently there's walk-in places you can do now.
Even though I've chased you.
Yeah. Apparently there's walk-in places, so apparently I can just drive somewhere and just do a walk-in and be like, yep, please stab me. And they will do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You have to pay for someone to come and collect recycling
Yeah.
for electronics in the majority of cases. A lot of places you can drop stuff off for free.
Yeah, if you know where to go, or if you call up a couple of places and say, hey, I've got e-waste, I know a place where they literally just say, yes, there's a skip outside our premises, just dump it in there.
Yeah.
And I can basically just go and fly tip into their skip.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we do it.
So yeah, that's good.
Mm.
We are done.
We are done. Right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Yeah. We did what we set out to do. We did what we set out to do. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you guys found it interesting. We will be back next week with something. I've no idea what. We'll actually have to think of something. It won't be put when we actually get these USB ports. That's going to take 3 weeks because that's coming in from China. However, if that goes well, there'll be a video about it probably in a month.
Yeah.
And then anyone who saw this one will be able to go, I saw the two guys talk. I saw the podcast where they were planning that one. But yes, past that, we'll be back next week with something. I will also be online tomorrow evening on my Twitch channel playing Deus Ex on that XP rig that we built.
Yes.
So that will be over on my Twitch, which is https://twitch.tv/Nethersam. Did I get that right? I did.
I am so pleased you know your own name.
Yeah. So I'll be playing Deus Ex on my Twitch channel tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time. Goodbye, everyone. Build a Pentium 2 slot retro machine. I need to do my Pentium 1 build. I got reminded that was a thing the other day because it got forgotten in the move. However, I've got all the parts for my Pentium 166 build with a genuine Voodoo 1 accelerator card in it. Suggestion for next week, Windows Insider build. Can do. Yeah. Because when did you say it was getting pushed out?
28th, I think.
28th.
30th, which is like 2 or 3 days time.
Yeah, that'll definitely be done by next week. You know what? Sure. Next week we'll have something running the Windows 11 Insider build, and we'll have a look at it.
So which one of us is going to go into it blind?
I would say me, because I can't be bothered. Put it on an SSD or something so we can just plug it into something in here.
Sure.
And we'll do that. But yeah, we'll sort something out and we'll have a look at it. As I say, I don't know how much I care about the Insider build, but then, well, yeah, it'll be interesting.
It'll be the first official look at it. So
it's the only thing that's going to incentivize me to actually look, because at the moment I'm interested in the discussion of Windows 11, but I have zero interest in actually downloading it on something.
Yeah.
I don't care. The only way that I'm going to care enough to look at it is if we're doing it for the podcast.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
So yeah, let's do it. Nice pointy hat indeed.
Absolutely.
And yes, epic 90s box. That's right. Right, thank you everyone. We're getting out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. I have enjoyed this conversation in English. Bye everyone.
Goodbye. Until next time. Ta-ra.
Where the hell is the YouTube? There it is.
It's there. It's right there.
I had to do a lot of alt tabbing then. Goodbye.
Good Lord.
End
Goodbye.
screen.
Farewell. Au revoir.